Does this sound familiar? You drive in Georgia with a valid license, but also spend the summer in Florida with credentials there as well. Florida now checks state-to-state verification to prevent anyone from having records in 2 states. If you have 2 licenses or a license in one state and an ID card in another, you will face cancellation. The Georgia Department of Driver Services urges you to check your license status at dds.georgia.gov. That's dds.georgia.gov.
Every year, millions of Americans are exposed to a contagious virus.
What is this virus? It's stigma.
Stigma promotes an environment of shame,
fear, and silence,
which prevents millions of people from seeking help.
But there's good news.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness believes stigma towards mental illness is 100% curable.
So do yourself and everyone a favor.
Go to curestigma.org and get tested for stigma.
Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia. It is time for MLS Next Pro on the SDH Network. Atlanta United 2 getting ready for round 2 and match week 2 of action at the Fraction, taking on New York Red Bulls 2 coming up slightly after the top of the hour. Jon Nelson here with the pregame show. Jason Longshore coming up in short order to take a look at the lineup for Atlanta United 2 and what he thinks for the second match of the 2023 season. Got a packed show, a lot of action in MLS Next Pro to go over from yesterday and today. Full docket tonight to go through. But before we go forward, let's go backward. Take a peek at Match Week 1 and Atlanta United 2's debut in MLS Next Pro. It was a match at Fifth Third Bank Stadium last week. New England Revolution 2 visiting, and we'll take you through all of the goals in the match. It was a bit of a long hill to climb for Atlanta United 2, and it started off in the 37th minute. Aiden McFadden on defense, but the ball ends up in the back of the net for New England.
Closing him down, just played it off of McFadden to take the corner kick. 37th minute. Jake Ruzansky goes across to take the corner. Ruzansky played in college at Maryland. 4 assists last year for Revs 2. Outswinging corner from the far side. Played short. Diaz shows for it. Back heel to Ruzansky into the 18. Cross deflected in off of McFadden. Goal, goal, goal. New England Revolution 2. Unexpectedly deflects off of Aiden McFadden and then New England takes the lead in the 37th minute.
That would be your score at the break at 1-0. You mentioned Jake Brzezinski in that first highlight. He had a very, very busy day. The captain was one of the catalysts for New England on the day. Brzezinski would get on the score sheet on his own in the 52nd minute.
Fry back to Souza, and now to Kaye. Fry turns, dribbles forward. Brzezinski goes back to Kaye. Brzezinski at midfield. Forced out wide to Souza. Mejia pressure, Tamimi pressure. It's all the way back to Campuzano in his own 18. Campuzano, good ball from him to play it forward to Miller, who checked back. Miller long down the left to Diaz. Good ball from Miller, good control from Diaz. Young recovers. Diaz has to force it back. Miller forward, cross to the backside. McFadden wins the header, top of the 18. Brzezinski pulls it back to his left foot. Brzezinski, curler, and in! Goal, 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 New England. Golazo from Jake Brzezinski.
It was indeed a golazo from Jake Brzezinski. That made it 2-0, and then New England Revolution 2 would add a third 8 minutes later. Pierre Kaye getting on the score sheet.
In swinging corner from Brzezinski. They're not going to sub here. Brzezinski, back post. Header, goal, New England. Brzezinski picks out Kaye on the back post. Easy header from the top of the 6. Revs 2 leading 3-0.
With a 3-0 lead, Atlanta United 2. We mentioned the long mountain that they had to climb, and it was a frantic last 20 minutes as Steve Cook brought in some reinforcements, made some changes to the 11. It was 3-1 with 10 minutes to go. Highmar getting on the score sheet.
Olma over hits it, looking for Greenwich Duncan. 83rd minute. Couple of good looks for Atlanta United too, but ultimately nothing on the board to show for it. New England out shooting Atlanta 9-7 at this point. Most importantly, 3 goals. 3-0 New England. Atlanta trying to play into the attacking half. Adeniyi, good ball into the center circle to Firmino. He dribbles forward through a triangle of defenders. Finds Tamimi. Through ball to Centeno. Centeno cross, slide, goal, goal, goal! It's Highmar who gets there. Firmino had come through. He didn't get it. Highmar puts it in the back of the net for Atlanta United 2. And do we have a frantic finish in Kennesaw upcoming? What a ball to start that from Adeniyi. Firmino got through 3 defenders, continued his run, and the cross ends up finding Highmar on the back post. It's 3-1 now.
You would get your frantic finish. That was definitely prophetic from Jason last time out. 90th minute, stepping to the spot to close the margin to 1. Nicholas Firmino.
Atlanta throwing everybody forward as New England kicks off. Kaye packs. Tamimi needs some help. Maybe he doesn't. Dribbles past again. Tiente there to help. Firmino now. McFadden. Forward. Highmar. Edge of the attacking third. Cross from Highmar. Back post. Atlanta player down. Penalty! Tamimi bundled over in the 6-yard box. Penalty Atlanta United 2 in the 90th minute. Really no argument from New England on that. Nicholas Firmino steps up to take it against his old club. Firmino standing at the top of the 18. Ball's on the spot. Vial waved back in now. The 3-minute time period is up. We'll talk about that in the post game, but Nicholas Firmino has an opportunity to cut it to 3-2 with only seconds remaining in regulation. Firmino, hands on hips, drifts to the left. Nicholas Firmino, goal, goal, goal! Atlanta United 2, with the second for Atlanta, and it's 3-2 as the Twos try to find a miracle here in Kennesaw.
Time would eventually run out on Atlanta United 2, losing to the New England Revolution 2 by the score of 3-2. And this is where we bring in Jason Longshore, who's going to be calling the match of Atlanta United 2, New York Red Bulls 2, coming up in short order. Before we get into the starting 11, Jason, for tonight, your thoughts on the first match of the year?
Yeah, it was a good fight back, and you like to see that out of a young team. I think it's a team that's still building chemistry, and last week, honestly, you had so many players training with the first team due to the international week, at least 6, maybe 7 throughout the week. So it was a little disjointed at times. I think the concepts and the way of playing was strong. And once you saw the group at the end, it started to click a little bit more. I think, Revs 2 probably let up a little bit as well with a 3-0 lead. And the Atlanta side almost came back and got something out of it.
Steve Cook, when we talked to him this week about this matchup against Red Bulls, with a young team, message was going to be don't get frustrated. Be tough, be resilient, and it's what you do with the ball. You've got to be great with the ball, and if you lose it, once again, counter-pressing stuff we saw yesterday with the first team going up against the first team with New York Red Bulls. When you look at the lineup going up against this philosophy for the second day in a row, what do you see for Atlanta United 2?
Yeah, Steve's dead on. You got to be brave against a team like the Red Bulls. Now, we've generally seen Red Bulls 2 not be maybe as dogmatic when it comes to the press. They've played a little bit more than the MLS side. This one will be curious because there's quite a few first-team players in the mix for the Red Bulls 2 side tonight. Also, quite a few first-team players for Atlanta United 2. I think the other element that it comes down to, and it's something that was important last night in the first-team match, is dribbling to break pressure as well. You go back and look at Atlanta's lineup last night, everybody from Thiago Almada to Luis Araujo to Franco Ibarra were very good on the dribble and beating that first defender. That can break lines too. And the passing and being brave to pass between the lines, draw a little bit of pressure and then play around it, that's essential. But the dribbling around it is very important as well. And I think Vial and Brennan, especially on the flanks, become very important, as do McFadden and Young, the fullbacks.
Clement Diop starting in net. It is Aiden McFadden, Fouad Adani, Noah Cobb, Tyler Young, Kofi Tumasi wearing the captain's armband tonight. Tyler Wolff, Johnny Fortune, Johnny Vial, Eric Lopez, and Luke Brennan is your starting 11.
Yeah, I like the 11. I want to see Wolff as the 10. I'm curious to see how he fits in there. I think he needs a really good performance as he's trying to play his way into the U20 national team for a World Cup coming up in about 6 weeks. That decision's coming up really soon. Noah Cobb could play his way into that, potentially as a very young player in that mix. Probably next cycle is going to be Noah's cycle with the U20s. Brennan could play his way into that mix. So, you've got guys who are on the bubble who have been part of national team pools that it's a World Cup year for the U20s. And if Noah Cobb goes on a run here playing consistently for Atlanta United 2 and a center back opens up, well, Noah might get that call. I think Tyler Wolff is first in line out of this group. The other thing I'm looking for is Tyler Young, the right back, who is a converted attacker. We've seen this over the years with Atlanta United 2. John Gallagher, Aiden McFadden, both becoming very good fullbacks, earning MLS deals as a fullback. Tyler Young has that kind of potential. He had a good first week as a fullback, led the team in recoveries, led the team in tackles, won. Can he build on that in week 2 against a team that is going to be on top of him with pressure? How does he handle that?
No doubt about it. We'll catch up with you coming up after the top of the hour for the call.
Word.
Let's go to the Red Bulls 2 lineup for Ibrahim Sakaya. Last time out, Red Bulls 2 played a 1-1 draw against Columbus Crew 2 at Montclair State University Soccer Park, Pitzer Field, for their MLS Next Pro match in 2023. They did not get the bonus point as they lose to Columbus Crew 2 in penalties by the score of 3-2. So that is how they come in here tonight. Their starting 11, Some familiar names from those who remember Atlanta United 2 playing Red Bulls 2 last year. A.J. Marcucci is in net. The rest of the starting 11, Omar Valencia, Matthew Nosita, Hassan Ndam, Avante Mullings, Drew Yearwood. We've mentioned Drew Yearwood, one of those names that you associate with the first team. Daniel Edelman wearing 75 tonight. Curtis Ofori, Amos Shapiro-Thompson, Wiki Carmona, and Oladayo Thomas. So that is your starting 11 for Red Bulls coming up in this match in short order. As we continue to take the tour and get you ready for this match, Atlanta United 2's availability report presented by our friends at Piedmont. The only name not on the list, Justin Garza, still recovering from his ACL treatments, so he is listed as out tonight. We mentioned it is a full schedule for MLS Next Pro. It's been a full weekend so far. 3 matches on your Friday night. Chicago Fire 2 beating Toronto FC 2 at SeatGeek by the score of 2-0. That was on Friday night. Also, Crown Legacy FC gets the win over FC Cincinnati 2. FC Cincinnati 2, remember, they are a division mate for Atlanta United 2. Orlando City B got the win last night against Jack Collison and Hunt City at Osceola Heritage Park. That one was a 2-1 score as well. All those were on Friday night. On action today, Inter Miami 2, remember, coached by Higuain. Inter Miami 2 with a 2-1 win over Philadelphia Union 2 at Subaru Park. Sporting Kansas City and Austin FC 2, they were playing at Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence, Kansas, and that one went to the shootout. And Sporting Kansas City 2 got the win. Right now, St. Louis City 2 leading Minnesota United FC 2 by the score of 1-0. That one is at the half. You can catch that one on MLS Season Pass. Also on the board tonight, starting simultaneously with this match, Houston Dynamo 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. That one is at Aviva. 8 o'clock starts. Los Dos hosting North Texas SC. That one is at Dignity Health Sports Park on MLSNextPro.com. Also on the .com, New England Revolution 2 hosting NYCFC 2. They are at Gillette. Timbers 2 and Earthquakes 2. That one is at 8 o'clock. LAFC 2 and Whitecaps 2 is at 10 o'clock on MLSNextPro.com. And Tacoma Defiance playing Real Monarchs at 10 o'clock. That one is on Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. Now it is time for the national anthem here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Kickoff coming up just around the corner. National anthem from Kennesaw. Salute to the country is complete. About ready to kick the ball in the air here on the SDH Network. And the man that will carry you through for Atlanta United 2, Jason Longshore. Jason, take it away.
Let's get ready for a little action at the Fraction in Kennesaw tonight. Atlanta United 2 will be in the 4-3-3 that has become customary for this side. Clement Diop in goal, Aiden McFadden, Fuadad Aniyi, Noah Cobb, and Tyler Young across the back line left to right. 3-man midfield, Kofi Twamasi, Johnny Fortune, and Tyler Wolf. Johnny Vial on the left flank, Luke Brennan on the right, and Eric Lopez getting the start up top. For the Red Bulls, A.J. Marcucci is the goalkeeper. Backline left to right, Omar Valencia, Matthew Nosita, Hassan Ndam, and Avante Mullings. Midfield trio, Drew Yearwood, who played last night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as a sub late. Daniel Edelman, who surprisingly did not play last night. And Amos Shapiro-Thompson is the number 10. Right flank, Wiki Carmona. Left flank, Curtis Ofori. And up top, it's Oladayo Thomas. Kofi Twumasi and Hassan Ndam are your captains tonight. Pleasantries exchanged in the center circle. Our referee crew led by Greg Dopka, making sure everyone's on the same page. AR's Tom Felice and Brian Marshall. Fourth official Joshua Bell. Twos looking for their first points in MLS Next Pro tonight. New York looking to build on a draw that forced the shootout last week. Red Bulls 2, style of play similar to the first team. Not an exact carbon copy, but similar. They are in a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 tonight. Be curious to see where their pressing triggers are. It's always something you adjust based off your side's really characteristics and the opponent you're going against. How aggressive will the Red Bulls be tonight? Not quite a normal week of preparation for Atlanta United 2. First half of the week still saw a number of players spending time in first team training. Probably got a couple of good sessions late in the week, especially on Friday for guys who weren't part of the match last night. And a little bit different look to the group tonight for Steve Cook. Red Bulls will kick off there, and they're all red, moving from right to left on your radio dial. Atlanta in the all white with green trim, moving from left to right. Final checks complete. Let's kick it for 45 from Kennesaw. Red Bulls play it back and then bomb it forward down the left side. Noah Cobb wins the header, finds Luke Brennan. Johnny Fortune bombs it down the right side. Marcucci, about 30 yards from his own goal, plays it into the middle third. Header won initially by Fortune. Red Bulls fighting for it on the left flank. Battle won by Thomas. He earns the free kick. Foul by Twumasi. Yearwood takes it quickly to Edelman. Edelman spins to his right, finds Nocita at midfield. Now it's over to Mullings on the right side. Mullings down the line, in behind McFadden. Cross, blocked, corner, New York. Wiki Carmona got in behind McFadden. That's a great ball from Ovante Mullings down the line. Mullings also a converted attacker. Big-time goal scorer at Florida Gulf Coast University. The 22-year-old originally from Toronto. Red Bulls see him as a potential fullback at the next level. In-swinging corner on the far side. Short corner option there as well. Played into the box. Easy catch for Clément Diop. First action of the year for Diop, the 29-year-old from Paris. Rolls it out short to Cobb. Cobb up the right side to Tyler Young. Red Bulls engage in the middle third. Young drops it to Cobb. Cobb back to Diop. Red Bulls don't chase Diop. Square to Cobb. Now the pressure picks up from Thomas. Back to Diop, top of the six. Diop floats one over to the left side to McFadden. Drop to Adeniyi. Inside to Fortune. Fortune under serious pressure from Thomas. Foul. Free kick Atlanta. A little bit of a test here from Atlanta early, trying to find what those triggers are going to be for New York. Back to Diop off the free kick. Adeniyi up the left side to McFadden. Inside to pick out Wolf. Wolf down the left flank to Vial. Vial squares it looking for Lopez, slightly overhit. Red Bulls have to scramble it out beyond Brennan for an Atlanta throw. Valencia did not look comfortable there defending. Vial almost sent Lopez in behind. But a good break. McFadden got that one in behind Mullings. Throw in from Young, can't be controlled by Fortune. Thomas tries to turn and break. He does. Ofori up the left side, sliding. Tackle from Noah Cobb. Out for a throw for New York. Red Bulls will take this about 10 yards inside the attacking half on the left flank. Valencia, the 19-year-old Panamanian, throws in looking for Thomas. Cobb wins the header. Finds its way back to Valencia, now all the way back to Ndam. Lopez takes it off of Ndam. Lopez, 1v1 with Marcucci. Eric Lopez, goal, 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 Atlanta! Eric Lopez! Pressure makes diamonds, and Eric Lopez just made a diamond with some pressure of his own. Lopez gets on the board for Atlanta. Atlanta United 2 leading the Red Bulls 1-0 early. 4th minute goal from Lopez. Funny how that works sometimes. A team that likes to press, when they get pressed, didn't handle it so well that time around. Red Bulls have kicked off. It's back to Ndam. Bombed up the left side. Young heads it back to Diop. Well handled by Tyler Young. Big goal for Eric Lopez, the 21-year-old Paraguayan. Last year was on loan to Bonfield in Argentina. Played a decent bit, but wasn't able to find the back of the net. He played in Columbus for the first team last week, and he gets a goal this week in MLS Next Pro. Atlanta back in possession. Diop, long diagonal up the right side, won by Valencia. Fortune knocks it forward. Lopez tries to get there. Young does and heads it forward to Lopez once again. Lopez in behind Ndam. Lopez, top of the 18, cuts back to the right. Good defending from Hassan Ndam on the recovery. Red Bulls able to dodge that one. It's played up the left side to Valencia. Valencia drops it back to Yearwood. It finds its way to Valencia. Deflection off of Cobb, but Adeniyi will run it down for Atlanta. Diop, top of his own 6. Squares it to the right to Cobb. All the way across to Adeniyi. Up the left side to McFadden. Tackled away from him. Atlanta throw. Still inside their own half. Aiden McFadden to take the throw. Thrown into Lopez near midfield. He turns to his right. Lopez draws a foul. Eric Lopez is lively tonight. Lopez plays the free kick short back to McFadden. Vial at midfield. Adeniyi back in his own half. Noah Cobb now. Cobb's pass blocked. Took a little bit too much time on that one. Ofori was able to get on top of him. Atlanta throw. Young takes. Cobb in his own defensive third, back to Diop. Red Bulls aren't pressuring the goalkeeper yet. We'll see if that changes. Adeniyi under pressure. Inside. Finds Twumasi. Pass blocked. Atlanta throw. Still in their defensive third. This is the Red Bulls approach that we're used to seeing. McFadden throws short to Twumasi. McFadden on the dribble, inside to Twumasi. Twumasi tries to find Johnny Vial. They don't connect. Battle for it in the middle third. It's knocked all the way back to Matthew Nosita. 6'8" center back for the Red Bulls. Was a star at Navy. He plays it over the top. Good ball from Nosita. Just didn't have quite enough backspin on it. Skips over the end line. Goal kick Atlanta. portion of the match brought to you by Burnt Hickory Brewery, home of the Down South Hellas Lager, created in partnership with Atlanta United 2. Diop taking his time on the goal kick. Plays it out to the right to Young. Heads it forward looking for Brennan. Valencia wins it instead. Yearwood's pass well behind its intended target. Tumasi plays it back to Yearwood. McFadden steps up and wins it. Vial on the break for Atlanta. Lopez down the middle. Vial on it on the left. Defended by Edelman. Cuts inside. Tackled away by the second defender. Vial got double teamed. Wasn't able to play it away fast enough. Wolf commits a foul, trying to win it back for Atlanta. Free kick earned by Daniel Edelman. Edelman, the 19-year-old homegrown for the Red Bulls, has played a lot for the first team. Was a little surprised not to see him last night. He's in the lineup tonight. Interesting to see these kind of double headers, sort of, in MLS and MLS Next Pro. Diop under some pressure. He pulls it back away from Thomas. Shows the Techers. Plays it up the left side to McFadden. McFadden knocks it off of Carmona. Atlanta throw. 10th minute, 1-0 Atlanta United 2. Eric Lopez with the goal. McFadden throws it back to Fuad Adani. All the way back to Diop inside his 6. Diop back to Adani. Now up the left side of McFadden. McFadden on the dribble, pushed in the back by Carmona. Foul and free kick at midfield. Atlanta United 2 finding those exit routes, and they're out wide with the fullbacks so far, especially McFadden on the left. Cobb plays it long down the right side. Can't find Brennan. Valencia wins the header initially. Brennan spins, finds Young. Here comes Lopez into the 18. Back heel to Brennan. Brennan squares it to the left of Vial. Got in the same space as Wolf. Atlanta still in possession. Vial drops back to McFadden. Out on the left side, McFadden cuts in on his right foot. Lopez squares it all the way back across to the right to Young. Young across to Vial on the left flank into the attacking third. Can't find Wolf with the pass, and Nocita just clears it long. Diop will run it down. Brennan and Wolf, not sure if they really collided, but they got in each other's way with that ball at the top of the 18. Still ended up with an opportunity as it squirted over to Vial on the left. Atlanta in possession. Tumasi tackled away from him, but it's back to Adani. And now Tyler Young on the right side. Johnny Fortune spins around, finds Tumasi, gets it back to Fortune. Good ball from Fortune out to Vial. McFadden with the underlap. Gets it from Vial. McFadden into the attacking half, into the attacking third. Left-footed cross caught by A.J. Marcucci. Marcucci wants to get things started quick for the Red Bulls, throws it out to Valencia. Valencia hits the brakes, cuts it back to Drew Yearwood at midfield. Yearwood to Valencia. Back to Yearwood. Pressure from Tyler Wolf. Inside to Hassan Ndam. Ndam plays it forward, but they can't find Valencia going forward as Wiki Carmona had come inside that time. Carmona's pass overhit. Atlanta throw. Cobb across to Adani. Up the left side to McFadden. McFadden cuts it back. Right-footed ball over the top to Lopez. Flag goes up. Lopez knew he was off. He looked over his shoulder to make sure. AR put the flag up immediately. Red Bulls have shifted things around a little bit in their shape as they go tonight. Carmona coming inside a whole lot more on the right, off of the right. Red Bulls in possession in the middle third. Brennan forces the turnover. Lopez down the right side. Eric Lopez. Ndam stuffs him. Good tackle from Hassan Ndam. He plays it up the left side to Valencia. Valencia able to get that pass around Cobb. Thomas cuts on his right foot. Shot pulls way, way wide. Oladayo Thomas wasn't able to get around on that one. Left the club face open. I know that trick. Goal kick, Atlanta. Diop. Short to Adeniyi. Up the left side of McFadden. Flicks it forward to Vial in the middle third. Back to McFadden. Ooh, Wolf might have been onside. Valencia kind of did not get in line with his back line, but Wolf maybe a step off according to the AR. Free kick taken quickly. It's Nocita on it now. Nocita up the right side. Mullings. Mullings carrying it forward. Mullings still on the run. Adeniyi able to get a boot on that pass. Back out wide to the right. Inside to Mullings. Back to Edelman. All the way back to Ndom near midfield. Edelman. Nocita at midfield. Nowhere to go for Nocita. He plays it all the way back to Marcucci. Marcucci over the top. McFadden goes down. Looked like he got his feet tangled up. Cut into the top of the 18. Sliding challenge from Kofi Twumasi. Forces it out for a throw. Valencia. Thrown in back to Drew Yearwood. 35 yards from goal. Yearwood passes inside. Not controlled by Thomas. Last touch off of Young, so it's a corner, Red Bulls. Couple moments of sloppiness there for Atlanta United, 2 in the 15th minute. Opportunity here for the Red Bulls. Edelman to take the corner. Shapiro Thompson provides a short target. Edelman, in swinger, looking likely here. Edelman driven to the near post, headed away by Adeniyi. Shapiro Thompson knocks it back out wide to Edelman. He's onside. Edelman defended by Young. Fortune is the one who gets the stick. It's out for another corner. Shapiro Thompson was the one who earns the corner. Fortune defending short, same setup here. Shapiro Thompson is a somewhat short option. Tyler Wolf in the vicinity as well. Corner played into the 6. Diop punches to the top of the 18. Wolf able to get on it. Here comes Tyler Wolf on the dribble. Sliding challenge to prevent any further forward motion for Wolf. Drew Yearwood timed that one perfectly. Atlanta throw, edge of their defensive third. 1-0 lead in the 17th minute. Young throws it back to Cobb. Cobb, sky ball into the middle third. Back to Nocita. He's going to win every header imaginable at 6'8". Yearwood, no patience there to build anything up. Just bombs it to Clement Diop. McFadden on the left. Gets it back to Adeniyi, all the way back to Diop. Diop at his own penalty spot. Squares to Cobb. Back to Diop. Diop drives it through the middle. First time ball out wide to the right to Brennan. Valencia, good positioning. That was a good idea from Tyler Wolf, who took that first time off the long ball from Diop. Cobb with a big tackle on Thomas. Yearwood runs it down. Brennan defending. Plays it inside to Ndom. Edelman in the center circle. Floats it out to the right. McFadden wins the header. Vial going to pick that up in the middle third at midfield. Square ball to Fortune. Lopez. Tackled away from him. Shapiro Thompson and Carmona combine. Carmona long over the top looking for Ofori, but Diop catches at the top of the 18. Rolls it out short to Young. Here comes Tyler Young up the right side. On the dribble, cuts in around Valencia. Nowhere to go, has to spin it back to Cobb. Cobb square to Adeniyi. Fuad Adeniyi short to Cobb. Pressure coming from an Ofori. Cobb felt that, plays it out to the right to Young. Young carrying forward. Brennan on it now. Brennan cuts inside on the dribble. Back out wide to Young. Young into the attacking third. Cross. Finds Vial on the backside. Almost found Lopez. Vial in the 18. On the dribble. Shot. Deflected. Saved. Marcucci. Young almost picked out Eric Lopez for his second of the night at the top of the 6. It skipped by Lopez, and Vial was able to get control, get a good shot off. It took a deflection in front and forced a big save out of A.J. Marcucci. Corner Atlanta, in-swinger from the far side. Tyler Wolf to take. Vial flares out short. Wolf plays it into the 6. Headed to the back post, and Dom heads it forward. Red Bulls clear. Young settles it in the center circle. McFadden there to help as well. Big switch from McFadden, comes up short. Valencia heads it back into the middle third. Cobb resets all the way back to Clement Diop. 20th minute, Atlanta United 2 leading 1-0 over the Red Bulls. Cobb, Young, back to Cobb. He's got to run this down. Red Bulls don't apply the pressure there. Thought they might. Diop on it at the top of his 6. Here comes Thomas with a little pressure. Diop squares it over to the right to Cobb. Cobb trying to find Brennan. Nocita comes across to win the header. It's all the way back to Marcucci. Long throw and a good one to find Valencia. Shapiro Thomas. Shapiro Thompson carrying forward. Has Carmona. He cuts it back. Wiki Carmona. Drew Yearwood on it now. Edge of the attacking third on the left. Ofori inside to Shapiro Thompson. He can't find Valencia. Atlanta's able to knock that out for a throw. Pressure picked up on the counter pressure from the Red Bulls. Thrown in quickly. Ofori. Valencia cross. McFadden clears it back where it came from. Brennan heads it forward. Edelman shoves Wolf in the back, gets away with it. Carmona. Valencia in the left corner. Flag is up. Atlanta wanted the flag to be up the previous time. They didn't get that. Maybe ball or flag don't lie. Either way, it's an Atlanta free kick. Crossing into the 22nd minute now. Almost midway through the first half. Diop plays it long to Lopez. Lopez entangled with Hassan and Dom. Doesn't get the call. And Dom looking forward to WrestleMania Night 2 tonight. Cobb back to Diop. Squared back to Cobb. Long diagonal in between McFadden and Vial. It's won by Mullings. Adeniyi runs it down and then plays it over the stands on the far side. That's the first time I've ever seen that here. Red Bulls have a ball to play quick, though. Corner of the 18. Shapiro Thompson back out wide to the right. Cross in. Adeniyi cancels that. Nocita steps up to keep it alive. He knocks it into the 18. Diop is there to catch. Oladayo Thompson providing some pressure. Thompson played the last 2 years at Santa Clara. Started his college career at Gettysburg College. 21-year-old from Lagos, Nigeria. He's got the start up top for the Red Bulls tonight. He's putting pressure on Clement Diop. Diop's able to deal with it, knocks it forward. It's headed forward by the Red Bulls. Adeniyi with a big switch that comes up short. Valencia back to his goalkeeper, Marcucci. Pass through the middle to Endom. Endom trying to release Valencia down the left. He does. Valencia inside to Ofori. Good turn from Ofori. Gets around Young. Ofori shoved by Twumasi, no foul. Atlanta lets that ride. It's a goal kick. Ofori looking back at the referee in astonishment. Can't say that I blame him, honestly. Curtis Ofori going to feel a little hard done by in that one. Looked like Twumasi had got the hands into the back. Maybe it was shoulder to shoulder. Would have been a free kick on the edge of the 18 if it had been called. It was not. Played long down the left, Eric Lopez. He's on it in the attacking third, dealing with Nocita. Tries to turn, gets the foul. Good work from Eric Lopez. Yellow card to Matthew Nocita. Eric Lopez having himself a strong night here in MLS Next Pro. He's got a goal, gets a yellow on Nocita, earns a free kick out in the left corner for Atlanta.
Number 3, Matthew Nocita.
Fial and Wolf over it. Fial with the left foot, Wolf with the right. Two-man wall for the Red Bulls. Nocita's at the near post for the Red Bulls. 6'8" frame. Got to play it over him. Looks like Wolf to take. In-swinger from Tyler Wolf. He's got Fial if he wants to play it short. Fial runs into the 18. Wolf to deliver to the near post, caught by Marcucci. Wolf might have thought he could sneak that one in. A.J. Marcucci thinks otherwise. 23-year-old from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Grew up in the same hometown as Aiden McFadden. Marcucci went on to play and star at Connecticut College. He's on a first-team deal for the Red Bulls. Played back to him from Valencia. Marcucci plays it into the middle third. Cobb wins it. Indom heads it forward. Perfect header to Carmona. Drew Yearwood cuts to his right, drops the shoulder, plays it forward to Shapiro Thompson. Back to Carmona. Red Bulls building, but the pass is overhit. Looking for Oladayo Thomas. Clemon Diop catches it instead. Diop drops it to his right foot. Draws Thomas in. Squares it to the right to Noah Cobb. Johnny Fortune back to Diop. Diop into the middle to McFadden. Flicks it on, only to the boots of Nocita. But McFadden comes across to win it. McFadden on the right now. Aiden McFadden on the dribble. Brennan gets the run from McFadden, cuts around back inside to Fortune. Fortune squares it over to the left to Twumasi. Temporary left back for Kofi Twumasi. Fuad Adeniyi tries to play it down the left side as McFadden is curled back over there, overhit, throw in New York. Nocita throws it back to his goalkeeper, Marcucci. Just outside his 18-yard box on the right side, Marcucci bombs this forward. Noah Cobb goes up to win the header. Over Ofori. Brennan on it. Curls around to his left, Luke Brennan. Doesn't like what he sees, plays it back to Diop. 27th minute, Atlanta United 2, leading 1-0. Diop trying to give it back to Brennan. Indom wins the header. Drew Yearwood, middle third, into the attacking third. Out to the left, Valencia. Pass deflected by Brennan. Red Bulls throw. Valencia to Ofori. Defended tightly by Young. Ofori's able to cut that into Shapiro Thompson. Cross blocked by Fortune. Red Bulls corner. Curtis Ofori, definitely one to watch for the Red Bulls. One of their youngest homegrown signings ever. 17 years old now. Seen him a lot as a left back. He's playing on the left wing tonight. Pretty interchangeable with Valencia. In swinging corner from the near side. Edelman delivers, headed away at the top of the 6. Ofori runs it down. Carmona now, 30 yards from goal. Pass picked off by Wolf. Back to McFadden. McFadden plays it long to reset. Tumasi gives chase. Edelman pops it up into the sky. Comes off of Shapiro Thompson to Brennan. Atlanta back in possession. Young, Fortune, back to Young. Up the right side to Brennan. That's picked off by Valencia. Young trying to win it back. Fortune does. Big switch. Not enough of the switch, and the flag goes up anyway. Free kick for the Red Bulls. Nocita takes it quickly. Indom. Back to Marcucci. 25 yards from goal. Indom. Diagonal to the right. McFadden doesn't get there in front of Mullings. Here comes Drew Yearwood through the center circle. Into the attacking half. Drew Yearwood on the run. Over to his right foot. Yearwood's pass cut out. Cobb, good read. Red Bulls still on it. Top of the 18. Into the 18. Mullings deflected by McFadden. Corner on the far side. Red Bulls starting to find some combinations. Drew Yearwood usually at the heart of it. The Red Bulls who will take this corner from the far side. Valencia and Edelman going over. In-swinger will come from Valencia. He plays it short to Edelman. Wolf steps out to defend. Edelman tackled away by Wolf. Another corner. A little bit different look that time from the Red Bulls. I don't know. When you have a 6'8" target, kind of think about just floating that up for him to go get it. Valencia might just do that here. Tuamasi defending Nocita. Valencia looking for Nocita. Tuamasi wrestles with him. No foul. Not quite a clean header from Tuamasi, but it gets out of the 18. Red Bulls on it in the center circle. Mullings off the back of Nocita as he's getting back to position. Atlanta throw. Take what you can get. McFadden steps up to take the throw. Wolf. All the way back to Adeniyi. Cobb. Young, midfield. Cuts inside. Tyler Young on the dribble. Beats 2. Plays it to Brennan down the right side. In behind Valencia. Low cross. Nocita gets there first. Brennan comes in trying to get on it. Tries to win it back. He does. No foul. Vial out on the left. Cuts inside to the right. Vial rides off a challenge. Inside shot deflected from Fortune. Popped up into the air. Marcucci catches. Good work from Vial, showing some strength, and excellent work from Brennan to keep that play alive. Red Bulls now down the left. Ofori slows things up, gets some help from Yearwood. Red Bulls into the attacking third. Yearwood splits to Valencia. Can't quite get there. It's been a lot of running here in the first half for Valencia. Omar Valencia on loan through the rest of the season from Plaza Amador in Panama. Came in very late last year, just played a handful of games. 19-year-old has appeared for Panama's senior national team as well as their U20s. Red Bulls win it back in the attacking half. Yearwood, but he can't find Ofori. Overhits the pass. Goal kick once again for Atlanta. 32nd minute. Clemon Diop. Noah Cobb. Back to Diop. Top of his 6. Back to Cobb. Oladayo Thomas running back and forth to apply pressure. Eric Lopez dropping into the defensive half to help Atlanta out. Plays it to Young. Big switch from Young to McFadden. Really nice decision there from Tyler Young. Fortune. Cut out by Nocita. Thomas looking for Shapiro Thompson, but he finds McFadden instead. Great ball from Aiden McFadden to Johnny Vial. Vial cutting into the 18. 1v1 with Nocita. Vial stood up by Nocita. Good defending from the big man. Floats it forward to Shapiro Thompson. Adeniyi gets there to break things up. Red Bull's got to run this down in their defensive third. I don't know if Johnny Vial has ever had to try to take a 1v1 against somebody who's 6'8". Red Bulls knock it off of Wolf, so it's going to be a goal kick. Vial would have the quickness advantage over Nocita, although he is a great athlete. He's got good pace. But just the reach with those long legs. Going to be able to cover so much ground. Vial couldn't find the way through. Red Bulls play the goal kick short and then knock it into the attacking half, but Cobb's there. He plays it all the way back to Diop. 34th minute. Atlanta United 2 leading 1-0 through Eric Lopez's hard work. Early goal from him, and Atlanta has held on to it since. Playing through pressure now. It's Cobb out on the right. Floats this into the middle third. Endom wins the header over Brennan. Young steps in front of Ofori. Nice work from Tyler Young once again defensively. Shuts Ofori down. Diop. McFadden out on the left. Wolf spins around to his right. Good turn from Tyler Wolf. Hits the through ball to Lopez. He's onside. Eric Lopez, top of the 18. Lopez! Wide of the near post. So close there from Eric Lopez. It's a great ball from Tyler Wolf. But Lopez just couldn't pull it off. Had Luke Brennan to his right as well. And Red Bulls making a first-half sub. Nocita coming out. He's on a yellow. I haven't noticed anything resembling an injury. Very strange. Did not expect that one for the Red Bulls. Yostin Salinas into the match. 24-year-old from Costa Rica. He's on loan from Sporting Football Club. It's Red Bulls in the attacking half. Adeniyi able to break that up. Plays it long down the right side. Brennan can't win the foot race with Valencia. Marcucci passes forward to Yearwood. Square to Valencia. Inside to Shapiro Thompson. Yearwood and Ofori have not found the same page. Or the same chapter, for that matter. That's out for a goal kick. Ofori having some words with Yearwood about kind of what he wants. Really curious about that sub of Nocita. It's not a yellow card, but still. Floated out to the right to Young off the goal kick. Young dispossessed by Ofori. Shapiro Thompson back to Yearwood. Yearwood dribbling across to his right. Finds Thomas. Thomas into the 18 to Ofori. Cobb sliding, blocks it. Good work from Noah Cobb. It is a corner. But the slide from Cobb not any way forcing a potential penalty. Just sliding in front. Ofori ran out of room, knocks it off of him. 37th minute. Edelman in swinging corner incoming. Hassan Ndam is the most likely target here. Not 6'8", but still a big target. Battle in the 6-yard box. Referee blows the whistle to put a stop to everything. Greg Dopka asserting his authority in the 6-yard box. Making sure everybody knows what's up. He's satisfied, backs away. Edelman will deliver the corner. Edelman, low, driven, top of the 6, flicked on, shot, blocked by Twumasi. Vial trying to dribble out. Yearwood takes it away from him. Red Bulls on the right, cross in. Diop can't get there, neither can the Red Bulls, but the flag was up anyway. Recycled set piece from Salinas that time. Trying to pick out Indom or Thomas on the backside. I believe it was Thomas who was in an offside position when that was delivered. It's a free kick for Atlanta. Getting into the 38th minute now. 1-0 lead. Diop barely gets that to Young. Young flicks it forward. Lopez curls back around to his left. Eric Lopez on the dribble. Dribbles into trouble. Ofori takes it away from him. Thomas heads it down to Shapiro Thompson. Cobb cleans it up. Red Bulls throw. Attacking third throw on the left. Thrown back to Yearwood. Now it's Valencia. Cross with the left foot. Adeniyi heads it away. Headed back down to Edelman, though. And now Salinas. Out wide to the right to Avante Mullings. Mullings cleared by McFadden. Vial was there to help defend as well. Mullings pushed it a little too far out in front of him. McFadden was able to clear. Looks like Mullings will take the throw about 40 yards or so from goal. Gets it back from Carmona. Deflection finds Carmona down the right. Carmona into the 18, cuts it back. Thomas scuffs it. Goal kick. Wiki Carmona got lucky and found himself in a good position there off of the deflection. Cuts a little cross back to Thomas. And the 21-year-old just unable to get anything to test Clément Diop. Diop plays the goal kick into the center circle. Wolf can't win the aerial duel. Salinas does. And it's Carmona. Fortune deflects it away. It's Yearwood now, edge of the attacking third. Long right-footed shot blocked by Cobb. Shapiro Thompson short to Carmona. He tries to draw the foul. He does not. Goes down, doesn't get the call. Told to get up. Atlanta, though, under pressure. Twumasi nearly curls it up the right side. Love the bravery there from Kofi Twumasi. He was in a triangle of Red Bulls defenders. Got a deflection, so it's an Atlanta throw. He was out on the right side, so he wasn't in the most of dangerous areas if he loses possession there. He got a throw. Good work from Twumasi. Atlanta swings it over to the left. McFadden back to Adeniyi. Pressure from Thomas. Forced back to Diop. 41st minute. 1-0 Atlanta. Diop to Cobb in his own 18. Fortune still in his own 18. Has Cobb out to the right. Edelman wins the header off of Twumasi. He's got to run back to try to win it. Draws a foul. Excellent work from Kofi Twumasi, wearing the captain's armband for Atlanta United 2 tonight. Red Bulls will force you into mistakes. They'll force you into some indecision. And you got to rescue it at times. Twumasi was able to do that for his side right there. Diop will take the free kick, 42nd minute. Told to speed things up. Long up the right side. Young goes up, wins the header. But Edelman chests it down. Back to Salinas. Wolf applying pressure. It's all the way back to Marcucci. Slices it out to the left. Valencia can't keep it. Atlanta throw. Vial over on the right side now. Brennan to the left. Young throws it back into his own half to Cobb. All the way back to Diop inside his own 18. Diop up the left side now, looking for Brennan. Salinas heads it out for a throw. Justin Salinas, busy since coming into the match for Nocita. Played forward by Fortune. Brennan on it in the attacking half. Cuts back to his right. All the way across to Vial. He has the underlap from Young. Plays it to him. Young, tackled by Indom. It almost finds its way back to Tyler Young, but Curtis Ofori tracks back to win it. He clears it into the middle third. Twumasi heads it down to Vial. Vial on the dribble to his left. Fortune gives it to Twumasi all the way back to McFadden in the center circle. McFadden out to the left flank. Cutting back inside, it's Tyler Wolf. Brennan there to help. Back heel to Wolf. Wolf into the attacking third. Lopez, top of the 18. Right-footed curler wide of the far post. Goal kick, Red Bulls. Eric Lopez. Another big opportunity for the Paraguayan. Can't find the far side of the goal. He's got one tonight. Had 2 more opportunities that he could have found the back of the net. 44th minute. Brennan fouled on the edge of the center circle. Atlanta free kick. Very curious to see what Ibrahim Sakaya has dialed up at halftime for the Red Bulls. They've had a few moments here in the first half, but they haven't completely looked like themselves. Wonder what they can do in the second half to change it. Steve Cook probably very pleased with his side's performance. 44th minute, Diop, top of his 18. Cobb. Looking over the top, down the left. That's a great ball from Noah Cobb. Luke Brennan on his horse, gets there. Brennan into the 18, right-footed shot, high and wide. Long run for Luke Brennan after a great ball by Noah Cobb. Red Bulls take the goal kick quickly. Yearwood squares it to Edelman. Edelman driving forward for the Red Bulls. Carmona now in the attacking half. Carmona wants to shoot with the left, does, wide. Goal kick Atlanta. Diop wants to have a conversation with his players rather than take the goal kick. Greg Dopka has seen that trick before, cuts it off. Diop will take the goal kick. Square to Cobb. Diop, left-footed clearance. Valencia will chest it down. Attacking half for the Red Bulls down the left. Left back Valencia. Cross. Adeniyi clears. Yearwood goes up for it with Lopez. Lopez battling for it. Almost gets around him, but committed the foul. Might have pulled him down. Yearwood also might have drawn the contact. Played short to Valencia. Now down the left flank. Cross blocked by Twumasi. No stoppage time in the first half, and that will do it. Atlanta United 2, early goal from Eric Lopez. They keep that lead till the break. Atlanta 1, New York Red Bulls 2-0.
Atlanta United 2-1, the New York Red Bulls 2-0.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium. We are at the break. Goal by Eric Lopez early on in the 4th minute. And Atlanta United 2 leading New York Red Bulls 2 by the score of 1-0. We'll go over all of your stats in just a little bit. We'll take you around the rest of MLS Next Pro and walk you through a very, very busy day when it comes to the league. Earlier today at Subaru Park, Inter Miami 2 over Philadelphia Union 2 by the score of 2-1. And it was a late goal for Inter Miami 2 that got them the win. Early goal on the board in the 12th minute by Lucas Meek gave them a 1-0 lead. They hung on to that lead until the 87th minute. Nelson Pierre with the equalizer. Then Farid Sarsar at 90+4 gives Inter Miami 2 full points with the 2-1 win at Subaru Park. Also in the afternoon, Sporting Kansas City 2, Austin FC 2. It was 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes. Sporting Kansas City 2 won 4-2 on PKs. Your goal scorers at Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence for both of these sides. It was Poe Vidal for Sporting Kansas City 2 in the 67th minute. It was goalless for quite some time. Poe Vidal scores in the 67th for Sporting Kansas City 2. 5 minutes later, Alfonso Ocampo Chavez scores. So it was 1-1 heading into penalties, and Sporting Kansas City 2 went perfect from the spot in their 4 frames to get the additional point on the afternoon. So Sporting Kansas City 2 gets the additional point with the 4-2 win in penalties. Action going on right now, winding down, and it should be over by the time our halftime is up. Minnesota United FC 2 at City Park is leading St. Louis City 2 by the score of 2-1. That one, once again, that's in the 86th minute. And it was a goal early on for St. Louis City 2. Akil Watts scores in the 5th minute to give St. Louis City 2 the 1-0 lead. Then Juan Camilo Mosquera scores in the 66th, and then Dunbar has scored in the 85th, like just now, so about a minute ago. And so Minnesota United 2 playing against 10-man St. Louis City 2 with Marr collecting the red in the 64th, finally breaking through with the lead. So 2-1 Minnesota United FC 2, 2-1 with a handful of minutes to go at City Park. Once again, the score here at the break, Atlanta United 2-1, New York Red Bulls 2-0. Also at the break, Houston Dynamo 2, Colorado Rapids 2. That one is no score. That one is at Aviva Stadium. Kickoffs coming up in short order. By the time our halftime is done, once again at Dignity Health Sports Park, it is Los Dos taking on North Texas SC. New England Revolution 2 at Gillette taking on NYCFC, and that will be Atlanta United 2's next opponent in a week's time. The only match in the month of April outside of the Fraction. It's going to happen next Sunday night at 7 o'clock against NYCFC 2 in the Tri-State. But 8 o'clock, New England Revolution 2 hosting NYCFC 2. That one is at Gillette, and that one is on MLSNextPro.com, as is Los Dos and North Texas. Also at MLSNextPro.com, Timbers 2, Portland Timbers 2, T2 taking on San Jose Earthquakes 2. That one is at Providence Park. And once again, that one is coming up at the top of the hour. 2 other matches coming up 10 o'clock Eastern Time. MLSNextPro.com has LAFC 2. They are hosting Vancouver Whitecaps 2. And on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, Tacoma Defiance at Starfire taking on Real Monarchs. That one is also a little after 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Looking at the standings, once again, we're in match week number 2, so things are very, very early on. Looking at divisions, once again, to remind you of just who the division partners are for Atlanta United 2 here in MLS Next Pro. Chicago Fire currently at the top of the Central Division with 6 points in their 2 matches, winning them both. They're ahead of Orlando City B on goal difference. That is +4 to +3. FC Cincinnati 2 with their 2 matches, a win and a loss. They're ahead of Inter Miami 2 on goal difference, so 3 points there for FC Cincinnati 2 and Inter Miami 2. Columbus Crew 2 are not in action this weekend, getting the 2 points with the shootout, with the penalty kick win over Red Bulls 2 last time out. So with their 1 match played, there are 2 points. Hunt City, having played twice, they have the 2 points on the board in their 2 matches played with a loss and a draw. And Atlanta United 2 playing right now. They are the 7th team in the Central Division. In the Eastern Conference, once again in the Northeast, it's Crown Legacy FC. Once again, they're tied to Charlotte. New England Revolution 2, New York Red Bulls 2, NYCFC 2, Philadelphia Union, and Toronto FC 2. NYCFC 2, Philadelphia Union 2, and Toronto FC 2, by the way, they have no points on the season. Red Bulls 2 only have the 1 point on the year. Crown Legacy 4 points in their first 2 matches. Also, looking at your halftime statistics when it comes to this particular match, looking at the numbers with Atlanta United 2 and Red Bulls 2. Right now, your shots, and we'll start with possession. Possession 52-48 for Atlanta United 2. Total passes within, pretty decent number within each other, not the disparity that we saw with the first teams in the first 45 last night. Passing accuracy, both under 80% for Atlanta United 2. It's at 79%, it's 78.7, and Red Bull, they are at 72.5%. But the passes in the opposing half, well in favor of Red Bulls at 132-61. But the passing accuracy in the opposition half, once again, just at 59% for Red Bulls, or Atlanta United 2 is at 56%. Passes in the final third, Red Bulls, they are at 80-25. Passing accuracy, though, for Atlanta United, it's 68%, 17-25 in the first half, and 57.5% for Red Bulls. Crosses 13-6 for Red Bull in the first 45 minutes. 7 corners for Red Bull in the first 45 minutes to just the 1 corner that was won by Atlanta United 2 in the first 45 minutes. Big chances all for Atlanta United. It was 2-0 in the first half. Shots inside the box at 3 shots on target 2-0. Shots total, Atlanta United 2 with 6 and Red Bull 2 with 5 in the first half. Looking at successful dribbles, that goes the way of Red Bull. It's 75% in 3 of 4. Atlanta United 2 at 40% on their 13 dribbles. Duels across the board. Atlanta United 2 has won of the 96 duels in the first half. Atlanta United 2 on top at 51-49%. Aerial duels, Atlanta United 2 has won 5 of 9 in the air on the day. Tackles, looking at your defensive actions, tackles on the day for Red Bull 2 at 14-8 with the advantage there. Tackles 1, 10-6. Interceptions goes the way of Atlanta United 2. We've seen that the defense in the first 45 minutes getting in the way of Red Bull 2 and their attempts on offense most of the time. Interceptions at 4-3. 6 fouls on the board for Red Bull 2, only 3 for Atlanta United 2. The 1 yellow card to Matthew Nosita, and looking over at the bench when Nosita went to sit down, took off his left shoe, was rubbing his instep right at the ankle, right at the hinge point. So had a little bit of the difficulty getting up off the bench and walking inside at the half. So Red Bull 2 are going to have to keep an eye on Nosita. But Nosita coming off in the first half, having to burn a substitution. Justin Salinas, very, very busy man in the 10 minutes or so that he was involved for Red Bulls 2. Looking at your possible substitutions and players that you could see in the second half for Atlanta United 2 on the bench, it is Efren Morales, Tony Tiente, Nicholas Firmino, Kareem Tamimi, David Mejia, Highmar, Alan Carlton, and Eric Centeno. For Red Bulls 2 in the second 45, Jaden Reed is available at the back. You also have Dylan Sullivan in the midfield. Salinas once again was brought in the first 45. Henry Wise available in the midfield. Ricardo Gourdet available up top. Eric Ruiz available for Red Bulls 2. And also, in addition to backup keeper Will Meyer, it is Frank Sabufu who is available at forward, the 22-year-old out of Uganda and Wakiso Giants FC. So those are your substitutions getting ready for the second 45, where you could see Steve Cook go and you could see Ibrahim Sakaya go in the second 45 with Atlanta United 2 up with a lead of 1-0. So once again, looking at numbers individually, I know a lot of folks are looking at Eric Lopez and what we got to see in the first 45 from Lopez. Looking at his individual numbers, a lot of green when you're staring at what could be for Eric Lopez. But Kofi Tumasi doing well when it comes to defense and distribution. Looking at passing numbers in the first 45. Aiden McFadden at 82%, Adeniyi at 82%, Noah Cobb 33 of 44 on 52 touches in the first half, Tyler Young at 17 of 20, 85% passing, Luke Brennan 9 of 10, good to see him in the first 45 minutes, Johnny Vial at 7 of 9, Johnny Fortune 7 of 9 as well, so there's your 78% when it comes to your passing accuracy when it comes to Atlanta United 2, but obviously a lot of eyes are being focused on Eric Lopez and what he's been able to do, causing problems for Red Bull 2 in the first 45 minutes. So both teams working their way back out here, getting ready for the second 45. And it'll be interesting to see what happens as Red Bull 2 try to get the equalizer here. And once again, they had the change at the back that they had with about 10 minutes to go in the first half. Atlanta United 2, we mentioned who's available on both sides, but it was great to see Luke Brennan being active and Johnny Vial being active and causing problems once again, much like we saw with the first team in Atlanta United and Atlanta United 2. Atlanta United and Red Bulls yesterday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You're seeing the same kinds of opportunities for Atlanta United 2 as they've gone up against Red Bulls 2 here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw. We welcome in Jason Longshore. Jason will take you through the second 45. Thoughts on the first 45 as we get ready for the second?
It's a typical Atlanta and Red Bulls match. It's a little disjointed at times. It's been pretty solid from Atlanta, honestly. You're dealing with the pressure pretty well. I'm curious to see if the Red Bulls change the way they press here in the second 45. We'll just have to wait and see. Subs, we'll see how the rhythm goes. But Red Bulls have to pick up the intensity. I've been a little surprised at their lack of intensity. See if Ibrahim Sakaya has gotten into his players a little bit at halftime. Curious to see how they start. Looks like we don't have any substitutions to start the second half. Quick reset for the Red Bulls. It's Marcucci in goal. Backline, Valencia, Salinas, Endom, Mullings. Midfield trio, Yearwood, Edelman, Shapiro, Thompson. Wingers, Ofori and Carmona, and Thomas up top. For Atlanta, it's Diop in goal, McFadden, Adeniyi, Cobb, Young on the back line. Fortune, Wolf, Tuamasi in the midfield, Vial and Brennan as the wingers, and Eric Lopez, your goal scorer, up top. Referee Greg Dopka making sure everybody is ready to go. ARs have checked everything they need to check. Last AR checking in on the far side. Let's kick it for 45 more minutes from Kennesaw. Atlanta United 2 leading 1-0, looking for their first points in MLS Next Pro. Cobb plays it long up the right side, looking for Vial. He stayed on the right to start the second half. Red Bulls win it back. Up the line, cut off by Young. Vial there to help. Inside to Young, back heel to Vial. Quick flick to Fortune, tackled away from him by Thomas. Yellow card, free kick Atlanta. Nifty play from Young and Vial.
New York Red Bulls 2 yellow card in the 46-minute, number 90, Oladayo Thomas.
It's a game and a half into his pro career, but Tyler Young might just be one to watch for the next level. Converted attacker at Campbell University. Big South Offensive Player of the Year last 2 years. Now playing as a right back, and he looks like he's played it all his life. Cobb takes the free kick short to Diop. 47th minute, 1-0 Atlanta. Diop Diagonal to the left. McFadden heads it forward. Brennan chasing. Indom is there. Back to his goalkeeper, Marcucci. Drives it into the sky over the head of Carmona. Adeniyi back to his goalkeeper, Diop. Driven into the middle third. Salinas wins it. Heads it forward to Carmona. Chests it down. Tackled away by Wolf. Foul called. I think it was on the grab from Adeniyi. Free kick Red Bulls. 15 yards or so in the attacking half. Daniel Edelman. Edelman looking for options. Line set just outside the 18. Edelman drives it down the right flank. Mullings, 1v1 with Brennan. Takes him to the outside. Mullings, sliding challenge from Brennan. Got a boot to it. Headers over the bar. I think Brennan got something on that cross. Popped it up in the air. It was Salinas who almost got on the end of it. Couldn't get over the header, though. Salinas under contract with Sporting Football Club, one of the newer First Division teams in Costa Rica. Spent 4 years with Saprissa before going to Sporting. Tony Tiente into the match for Kofi Twumasi. That wasn't the break. Atlanta regains possession in the middle third. Chested forward by Salinas. Yearwood forward to Thomas. Out wide, Shapiro Thompson down the left side. Cross in from Valencia. McFadden's got to deal with it. He concedes the corner. Good break for the Red Bulls. They get a dangerous cross in from Valencia. But McFadden heads it away from Edelman. Edelman will take the corner. Outswinger from the near side. 49th minute. 1-0 Atlanta. Edelman delivers to the top of the six. Knocked forward into the six. Pinball. Atlanta finds it and clears. Edelman able to tackle that away from Wolf. It pops back into the defensive half. Valencia ran it down. Marcucci at the top of his 18. Long drive up the right side. Carmona slips. It gets over McFadden's head. Adeniyi clearing ball blocked into the 18. Thomas on it. Takes it to the end line. Diop is there. Goal kick. Don't think Thomas actually got a shot off there. The slide from Diop took away all of his angle. And Thomas just dribbles it out for a goal kick. Clemon Diop. High pressure from the Red Bulls, as expected. Diop plays it short anyway. Adeniyi. Long up the left to Brennan. Valencia able to control. Indom. Indom stepped in front of Brennan. Wins it. Pass inside to Edelman. Picked off by Brennan. Good ball to Wolf. Inside to Lopez. Lopez tries to get back on it. Sliding challenge. Trips him up. Kind of an awkward situation there. The track is very slick here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Drew Yearwood slid early and just kept on sliding. Lopez knocked it back, trying to get back on it around him. Couldn't jump over him. Free kick. No malicious intent there from Yearwood. Free kick played short back to Cobb. Cobb plays it forward to Tiente. Good ball for Vial down the right. Flag is up. Good look from Tony Tiente. Slightly overhit. Maybe a little overly aggressive with the watering at halftime. Maybe. It's a very slick surface now that the sun has gone down in Kennesaw. Marcucci over to the left. Long ball up the left side. Young gets there first. Red Bulls throw near midfield. 52nd minute. Throw in quickly to Thomas. Thomas turns to his left, into the attacking third, out on the left. Young takes it away from him. Young wins the second challenge. Tyler Young with a clinic at right back. Johnny Viall with a clinic on the dribble. Wrestled to the ground by Ofori. Yellow card for the 17-year-old and an Atlanta free kick.
New York Red Bulls 2 yellow card in the 52nd minute. Number 47, Yastin Salinas.
Young standing over the free kick. Believe that yellow was Ofori, not Salinas. If we find out differently, we'll let you know. Young drops the free kick back to Cobb. Back into the 6 to Diop. Now Adeniyi on the left. Able to keep it in. Dribbling forward. Back heel to McFadden. Forward to Wolf. Wolf, through ball. Lopez. To his left to Brennan. Brennan, edge of the attacking third. Cuts it back on his right foot. McFadden, underlapping run. Creates a little space. Back to Tiente. Back into the center circle to Cobb. Cobb up the right side now. Viall flicks it forward. It's deflected out. Atlanta throw. Young had made the overlapping run. Really good movement from Atlanta United too. Throw in for Tyler Young on the right side. Thrown in, edge of the 18. Lopez can't control. Red Bulls on it. They try to break. Up the left, Thomas can't run it down. Another overhit pass for the Red Bulls. Young with the throw in. Back to Noah Cobb. All the way back to Diop. You can tell these patterns of play for Atlanta United 2, this is what they worked on this week. Reset to Diop. Let him start the play. This one ends up with an Atlanta throw at midfield, McFadden. If it's not on to go forward immediately, they drop it to Diop and reset. Adeniyi, Tiente, back to Fuad, back to Tiente, back to Diop. 1-0 lead for Atlanta United 2, 54th minute. Diop, diagonal up the right side. Aerial duel won by the Red Bulls. Indom pokes it forward. Fortune regains possession. Young up the line to Fortune. Earns a throw. Subs incoming for Atlanta United 2. Johnny Fortune's night is done. Good shift, 54 minutes and some change for Johnny Fortune. Nick Firmino comes in. And David Mejia replacing Johnny Viall on the right flank. Firmino and Mejia for Viall and Fortune in the 55th minute. Young with the throw-in. Firmino heads it forward. Played forward off the arm of Firmino, but Cobb gets there first. Back to Diop. Pops it over to the right side to Young. Good first touch from Young. He carries forward. Couldn't find the pass to Firmino initially. Deflections take it to him. Young up the line. Mejia earns a throw. Tyler Young is just blossoming with confidence right in front of us here tonight. So much more comfortable on the ball as the night goes on. Noah Cobb not so shabby himself in that regard. Plays it back to Diop. Adeniyi, deflected ball, doesn't get to McFadden. It's picked off. Red Bulls in the attacking half now. Edelman, his pass intercepted by McFadden. Tiente, Adeniyi, long ball up the left, sliced it. Throw Red Bulls. Red Bulls in the attacking half. It is not exactly convincing tonight. But all it takes is one. Ovante Mullings, the Toronto native, throws it up the line, flicked on by Carmona, but McFadden controls. Cobb, back to Diop. Diop floats this into the middle third. Wolf able to flick it inside to Lopez. Good work by Tyler Wolf. Brennan controls out on the left flank. Dual runners. McFadden gets there first, but Indom wins it with a tackle. Can the Red Bulls break? Wolf puts a stop to that. Edelman has to spin around. Finds Yearwood. But now it's back to Salinas and Indom. No break for the Red Bulls that time. Mullings double teamed. Back inside to Indom. Long diagonal from the Cameroonian. Picks out a Forey on the far side. Good first touch. Dribbles to the inside. A Forey. Square ball. Carmona. Flick forward. Carmona finds the second ball and finds the back of the net. Goal, goal, goal. Red Bulls. Wiki Carmona, his second of the year. Not what he had intended. He tried to flick that forward to Thomas. It takes a deflection, finds its way back to Carmona, and a composed finish from inside the 18. The Venezuelan Youth International, Wiki Carmona, levels the score at 1. It doesn't take long for the Red Bulls to find that combination. They haven't looked good in the attacking half tonight. They get a deflection that time, but Carmona buries it. Diop frozen, and Atlanta kicks off. 1-1 now, 58th minute. Diop drives it up the left. McFadden heads it forward. Indom plays it back. Marcucci has to knock that out for a throw. Mejia to take. Mejia and Brennan have switched flanks now. It's Mejia on the left. McFadden splits 2 to Mejia. Wolf gives it back to Mejia in the 18. Left-footed cross. Headed away. Salinas stepped in front of that one. It's Carmona trying to break up the right side. Nowhere to go. Has to play it back to Edelman. Pressure from Atlanta now. Yearwood trying to break that. Adeniyi steps in front of a pass. Deflected ball. McFadden at midfield. Out wide, looking for Mejia. Mullings got there first. Dangerous ball back, but it skips by Lopez. Then Marcucci cuts it around Lopez. A.J. Marcucci with a long ball up the right side. Thomas trying to outrun Adeniyi. He does. In the corner, but he can't control. Throw in Atlanta. A.J. Marcucci hit that one about 75 yards in the air. Thomas was able to get on the end of it, but he couldn't beat Fuad Adeniyi. Drew Yearwood's night is done in the 60th minute.
Substitution in the 60th minute. Exiting the match, number 16, Drew Yearwood. Entering the match, number 92, Eric Ruiz.
Eric Ruiz checking in, number 92. 17 years old, out of the Red Bulls Academy. Yearwood played a little bit last night in the MLS match. Came off the bench in the second half. Goes 60 tonight. Coming back from injury, Drew Yearwood. Red Bulls regained possession off the throw. Knocked forward by Salinas. Battle for it, edge of the attacking third. It's Tiente who finds the handle. He picks out Wolf. Wolf, big switch looking for Brennan. Brennan gets on the end of it. Brennan, top of the 18. Great recovery run by Valencia to knock Brennan off of it. Brennan wanted a foul. He's not going to get that one. Here come the Red Bulls up the left flank. Young steps in front of that pass intended for Ofori. Tiente, triple teamed, fouled. Beautiful ball by Tyler Wolf to switch the point of attack to Brennan, but the recovery run from Omar Valencia was equally as good. Diop, diagonal to the left. Header won by the Red Bulls. Mullings won it out of the air. Carmona. Wolf got a touch, but it pops back out to Mullings on the right. Cross off the back of Adeniyi. Clearance by McFadden. Mejia, first time, cuts it inside, but Salinas intercepts. Wolf gets it touched. Denies Edelman a clean run forward. Eric Ruiz with his first touch. Out to the left. Red Bulls now in space on the left side. Shapiro Thompson spins around to his right. Has Ruiz. Firmino tackles it away from him. Mejia wins it. Splits 2 to Firmino. 3v2 for Atlanta. Firmino carrying it forward. Wolf on the left. Wolf. Red Bulls recover. Wolf dribbling to his right. Cuts it across to Eric Lopez in the right corner. Lopez trying to run this down. Cross looking for Firmino. Header wide. Great ball by Eric Lopez to Nick Firmino at the top of the 6th, but he couldn't make clean contact. Header goes wide. Another chance goes begging for Atlanta. Here come the Red Bulls quickly off the goal kick. Tyler Young and Curtis Ofori battling on the left. Ofori hits the overlapping Valencia. Cobb knocks the cross out for a goal kick, or for a corner kick for the Red Bulls. Red Bulls have gotten more comfortable here in the second half. They found the equalizer through Carmona, and it's these quick flips of the field, catching Atlanta off guard. Atlanta has had opportunities to extend the lead, and that last one would have regained the lead. Could be a wild finish here in Kennesaw. Edelman in swinging corner from the far side. Mullings standing at the penalty spot. Endom curling around to the back post. Play to the top of the 6. Endom goes over the back, commits a foul. Header was wide anyway. Good work by Tiente there. Diop takes the free kick quickly, but it comes up short of the run of Wolf. Ofori regains possession. Out for a Red Bulls throw. Shapiro Thompson battling with Firmino, fouled by Firmino. Free kick about 35 yards from goal on the left. 64th minute. Edelman standing over this with the right foot. This will curl towards the goal. He's got Valencia there as well. He could hit it with the left. Two very different kinds of delivery here. Two-man wall for Atlanta. Carmona on the back end of the play on the back post. Valencia runs over it. Edelman looking for Carmona. McFadden wins the header instead. Carmona runs it down in the corner. Drops it to Ruiz. Blocked. Throw, Red Bulls. It's Wiki Carmona to take the throw. Thought about taking the throw. He'd rather have Mullings take it. Avante Mullings spent some time in Toronto FC's academy before going the college route. Mullings, an interesting prospect as a fullback. Throws it forward. McFadden wins the header. Mullings will get more throw-in practice. Has Edelman short this time. Throws it into Carmona down the line. Carmona spins around Firmino. Left-footed cross, top of the 6. Adeniyi gets his boot to it. Another Red Bulls throw, this time much further away. Mullings will take it once again. Mullings, casual. Throws it in. 66th minute. Off the head of McFadden. It's going to be a corner. Diop tried to save it. Couldn't get there in time. Opportunity here for the Red Bulls. Thought about taking it quickly. Edelman does come over, but he's not going to take it. But Carmona will with the left foot. In swinger. Top of the 6. Diop has to come through traffic, get something on it. It's cleared. Red Bulls play it all the way back to Marcucci in their own half. Wolf giving chase. Marcucci drives this forward. Adeniyi with a header, perfectly placed header. Over to the right to Young, in space. Plays it up the line to Brennan. Heavy touch, won back by Valencia. Here come the Red Bulls. Ofori trying to get in behind Young. Cross, won by Adeniyi, cleared by Tiente. Salinas gets his right leg around Lopez, no foul. Here come the Red Bulls. Shapiro Thompson. Eric Ruiz. Edelman. Shapiro Thompson lets it ride. Flag goes up. Offside. 67th minute. 1-1. Shootout possible here tonight. Both teams would get a point. The shootout would decide a bonus point. Free kick played short to Diop. Square to Cobb. Long ball to Wolf, finds him. Edge of the center circle. Indom blocks the next pass. Firmino finds the deflection. Squared across to Tiente. Tiente drives it forward. Salinas gets there first. Firmino commits a foul on Ruiz, trying to win it back. Second half, Atlanta United 2 action presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. 1-1 Red Bulls in the attacking half, but they commit a foul. Free kick Atlanta, middle third. Shapiro Thompson, the guilty party this time. Noah Cobb steps up to take. 10 yards inside his own half. Cobb, left footer out to Young. Brennan spins. Last touch off of Brennan. Throw Red Bulls. Tried to take the throw at least 20 yards further up the field. Normally you have kind of a range of vision where the throw is going to take place. That one gets thrown in. I'm like, where did he come from? Tried to cheat up 5 yards that time. Referee's not even having that. Now thrown in up the line. Thomas. Back to Ofori. Shapiro Thompson driving into the attacking third. Cuts it across to Carmona. Carmona, top of the 18, left-footed shot. Diop, acrobatic save. Headed away. Corner Red Bulls. Wiki Carmona starting to find some dangerous spots for the Red Bulls. 70th minute. Clemon Diop with a big save. Edelman to take the corner. Both hands in the air. Edelman. Short. Headed away by Wolf. Regained possession there. Carmona tried another shot. Took a deflection. Red Bulls run down the clearance in their own half. Wanting to turn the corner on the right side. It's Eric Ruiz. He does. Gets around Mejia. Draws a foul. Yellow card to David Mejia. The Peruvian Youth International fouls the Red Bulls Academy product, Ruiz. Atlanta will be making another sub.
In the 70th minute, number 11, David Mejia.
Sub not yet for Atlanta. It's a free kick for the Red Bulls, 71st minute now. Edelman and Valencia standing over it. Same really situation as the free kick earlier from the left side. This one's from the right. So Edelman will have the delivery swinging away from Diop's goal. Valencia's would be tracking towards the goal. It's Edelman stepping over it. Valencia comes back to it, plays it to the back post. Header on, caught by Diop. A little bit of misdirection on the free kick by the Red Bulls. Almost worked. Got a header on the back post. Not the most convincing. Diop with a comfortable catch. Ofori steps in front of Young. Here comes Ofori. Odd man rush, Red Bulls into the 18. Ofori shoots over the bar. Cobb had stood him up. Ofori really forces that one.
Atlanta United 2 substitution in the 72nd minute.
Luke Brennan's night is done for Atlanta United 2.
Brennan entering the match, number 21.
Eric Centeno is into the game now. Centeno, the Generation Adidas draftee from the University of the Pacific. Spent time with the Sacramento Republic Academy before coming to Atlanta last year. Red Bulls regain possession off the Atlanta goal kick. It's been all Red Bulls here for the last 10 minutes or so. Carmona gets a touch. Shapiro Thompson, left-footed shot. Big save, Diop. Full extension with the right arm. Gets a hand to it, pushes it high and wide. But Amos Shapiro Thompson almost found the back of the net for the Red Bulls. Third-round draft pick in the Super Draft out of Boston College. Was a New England Revolution Academy product. Almost found his first goal of the season. Edelman, corner, short. Shapiro Thompson cuts it back to his left foot. Gets the cross in, but wide. Firmino was there challenging. Goal kick, Atlanta. Five Stripes have lost the momentum in the second half. Lost that momentum to a little bit of a critical stage here in the last 10. But Red Bulls haven't found the go-ahead yet. Diop going to get a yellow for time wasting. Red Bulls with the high pressure. Diop couldn't really decide what he wanted to do. Ends up taking the yellow card. 74th minute. Diop through the middle. Firmino flicks it on. Lopez out wide to the right. Centeno earns the throw. Don't know if he got his first touch there. Young will step up to take the throw. Throws to Firmino. Back to Young. Back to Cobb. Cobb over the top. Lopez had to check back that time. Played into Marcucci, who clears. Header won by Tiente. Possession regained by the Red Bulls. Mejia stands up end on. Mejia tries to hit the through ball. It's cut away. Mejia still fighting for it. Edelman half clears. Tiente settles. Square to the right to Firmino. Firmino spins back around. Has Young to help him out wide. Young's pass short of Centeno, but Centeno fights to win it back. Young inside looking for Firmino. Red Bulls clear. Thomas trying to get the better of Cobb in the foot race. Thomas trying to get the better of Cobb on the dribble. He does. Ofori into the 18. Takes a couple deflections. Gonna be a free kick for the Red Bulls. Greg Dobko was waiting to see if the advantage materialized. It kind of sort of didn't. Just kept rattling around, and ultimately Atlanta got the clearance. So it's a free kick, Red Bulls. 18 and a half, maybe 19 yards away. This is over on the left, outside of the post, outside of the 6-yard box. And it's Shapiro Thompson standing over it. Thought Carmona might. Ball set for Atlanta. Shapiro Thompson going to take this. Had a bomb earlier that was saved by Diop. Here we go. Shapiro Thompson, deep breath, shot into the wall. Ofori, follow up, back into the 18, cleared by Cobb. Popped back into the 18, but that's going to go out for a goal kick. Atlanta wobbly as we get later in the second half. This is what the Red Bulls do to teams. They just wear you down. Physically, they wear you down mentally as well. Diop to the right to Cobb. Forward looking for Centeno. Gets over his head, out for a throw. Red Bulls throw in front of the Atlanta bench. Long throw to Thomas. Possession regained by Young. Firmino earns a throw for Atlanta. Red Bulls out shooting Atlanta 7-1 in the second half. Throw in long looking for Lopez. Red Bulls regain possession. Marcucci clears. Carmona flicks a header forward, but it's into the arms of Diop. Rolled short to Cobb. 77th minute, almost the 78th. 1-1. Tyler Young on the dribble. Gets the better of Ofori. Gets the better of Shapiro Thompson, who brings him down. Thought that could have been a yellow. It's not. Atlanta sub coming. Not yet, though. Oh, yeah, it is going to come now. Tyler Wolf, his night is done.
Atlanta United 2 substitution in the 78th minute, exiting the match, number 28, Tyler Wolf. Entering the match, number 9, Kareem Tamimi.
Kareem Tamimi. Looks like two up top for Atlanta now. Tamimi and Lopez. Tiente. Free kick finds Mejia. First time inside. Mullings deflected. He clears. Adeniyi will run it down. Thought about resetting to Diop. Spins around. Mejia coming back from an offside position, so it's a Red Bulls throw. Nice spin from Fuad Adeniyi. 79th minute, Ovante Mullings. His 500th throw-in of the night, allegedly. Mullings. McFadden battling with Thomas. Thomas earns another throw. Knocks it off of McFadden. 501st throw for Mullings. Thomas wins this one as well. Dribbling inside, runs into his own player. Edelman passes forward. Played into the 18. Ofori goes down really easily, but gets a corner out of it. AR gives the corner. Noah Cobb vehemently disagreed. Red Bulls take it quickly. Edelman deflected, caught by Diop. Diop rolls it short to Adeniyi. 80th minute, 1-1. McFadden, Adeniyi. Defensive third possession for Atlanta. Diop to the right to Cobb. Back to Diop in the 6. Through the middle to Firmino. Tries to cut that further through the middle to Lopez, but it's intercepted. Heavy touch from Shapiro Thompson. Easy for Diop to come sliding out to get on the end of. Big punt from Claymon Diop. Mejia gets on the end of it. Brought down by Mullings. Foul, yellow card, free kick Atlanta about 35 yards out. Mullings commits the foul. Good first touch by Mejia off of the punt from Claymon Diop. Set piece opportunity here for Atlanta. It's Eric Lopez who wants it. Mejia there as well. Maybe a little bit closer than 35 yards. Two-man wall. Don't think they go to goal here. Options on the back post. Lopez and Mejia. Mejia runs past it. Lopez chips it, back post, headed away. Shapiro Thompson on it for the Red Bulls. To his left, Valencia finds Shapiro Thompson. He gets through. Here come the Red Bulls. Into the 18, but a poor delivery. Trying to run this down is Carmona. He will in the corner. Still there for New York. Carmona passes inside to the 18. Adeniyi gets a touch to it. Quick shot, deflected. Diop pounces on it. Little bit of chaos there, but Atlanta avoids giving up the second goal. '82nd minute, Clément Diop. Ball in his hands. Short to Cobb. Back to Diop. Just outside of his 6, Diop plays along. Lopez tries to get his head to it. Young gets a touch. Firmino gets a touch. Lopez battling for it. He goes down. Free kick Atlanta. Foul committed by Valencia. He doesn't like the call, and I think the dissent is what gets the yellow. Omar Valencia goes into the book.
Red Bulls 2 yellow card in the 83rd minute, number 42, Omar Valencia.
Free kick Atlanta, about 7 yards or so in their defensive half. 83rd minute. Only one shot in the second half for Atlanta. 9 now for the Red Bulls.
83rd minute, exiting the match, number 90, Oladayo Thomas. Entering the match, number 97, Frank Subufu. Also exiting the match, number
Frank Subufu into the match for Red Bulls.
Entering the match, number 46,
Dylan Sullivan also into the match. Atlanta back underway. Fresh legs for the Red Bulls to try to see this out. Subufu up top. Ball down the left side to McFadden, who had snuck forward. McFadden gets Indom onto the ground. Cross headed away at the near post. McFadden able to get back on it. Turns around Mullings. Cuts it back. Mejia. Right-footed cross. Low. Cleared. Shapiro Thompson leading a break for the Red Bulls. Drops it back to Ruiz. Now Carmona on the left wing. Crossing into the attacking half. Long run here for New York. Big tackle from Tyler Young. Atlanta regains possession. End-to-end stuff right now. Centeno can't turn back inside. Red Bulls throw at midfield. Valencia will throw this in. Up the line, headed forward. Carmona battling for it. Gets around Cobb. Carmona cross. Adeniyi with the trail leg, able to deny. I think it was Sullivan who was making the run. Here's Edelman. Edge of the attacking third. Cut off by Tamimi. Tamimi dropping back to defend for Atlanta. He's on the ball. In his own 18. Back to Diop. Clearing ball into the middle third. Won by Endom. Edelman flicks it forward. Cobb clears. Mejia battling with Sullivan for it, as is Lopez. Red Bulls throw. Dylan Sullivan, first year as a pro, played in college at Clemson. Won himself a national championship last year. Came from the Red Bulls Academy, went to Clemson, now has signed a pro deal with Red Bulls too. Throwing up the line, Adeniyi with a moon ball. Out for a throw. Mullings throws it in quickly. Subufu tackled away from him by Tiente and Mejia. Subufu goes to the ground, wins it back. Edelman. Carmona. One more time to Valencia. Shot blocked by Diop. Young up the right side, short of Centeno, but Shapiro Thompson can't regain possession. Atlanta throw, 86th minute, 1-1. Good turn from Centeno on the dribble. Step overs, beats another one. Here comes Eric Centeno down the right side. Eric Centeno into the attacking third. Centeno cross, Did it take a deflection? Yes, it did. Atlanta corner. What a run from Eric Centeno. Slight deflection on that cross. Didn't miss by much. David Mejia comes across to take the corner. Going to be an outswinger from the Peruvian. Mejia, near post, headed away by Ruiz. Centeno on it. Out to the left, Tamimi. Corner of the 18. Tamimi, cross with his left foot, overhit. Goal kick, Red Bulls. 87th minute, almost the 88th. They take it quickly. Carmona, midfield, defended by Young. Carmona gets past him initially, but Young recovers to regain possession. Red Bulls win it back. Young with another sliding play to deny Valencia. Red Bulls throw. Two more big defensive plays from Tyler Young. But the Red Bulls have a throw. They find Sabufu in the attacking third. On the left, Shapiro Thompson dribbles past Cobb. Cross, cleared, Adeniyi. Tamimi fighting for it, doesn't get possession. Long-range shot from Edelman with the left foot, blocked by Cobb. Pop back into the 18. Shot, caught Diop. It's just pinball. It's flailing around. Can't really give you much more detail than that. It's just swinging legs at it and knocking it forward. Sometimes that works. Diop with the save. Punts it. Gets over the head of Endom. Mejia into the attacking third. Curling to his right. Firmino shot wide. Doesn't get around on it. Good recovery by the Red Bulls. Mullings came all the way across. Just a hassle Firmino with that shot. 89th minute. Shootout possibly looming. Both teams would get a point. The shootout would decide an additional point. Goal kick played long, won by Atlanta. Salinas gets a touch to it. Endom clears it forward. Cobb. Carmona on his back. Wrestles with Cobb. Gets it. Deflection. Diop gets there. Takes a hit from Sullivan. Carmona went do-si-do on Cobb and found the ball. Referee Dopka allowing a lot of physicality here late. 90th minute. Atlanta holding on a little bit. Diop with the punt. Tamimi heads it out to the left. McFadden gets there. Forward to Mejia. Mullings takes it away from him. Tiente regains possession. Back into the center circle for Cobb. 30 seconds left in regulation. Cobb. Good ball to McFadden down the left. Chests it forward, but the flag is up. Really close call there. We're not in line with it, so I can't really make a decision on it. Close. No hesitation from the AR on the far side. Marcucci, free kick just outside his 18. We'll see how much stoppage time is indicated. Played forward, headed wide by Sullivan, looking for Carmona. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We're in it now. Valencia into the attacking third. Header won by McFadden. Sullivan from 22 over the bar. All Red Bulls in the second half. They get the equalizer, but they don't have anything more than that just yet. Stoppage time, goal kick here for Clément Diop. 2 minutes and some change left. Looking for Firmino. Red Bulls find it instead. It's Carmona on the left side. Gets it back. Sliding challenge won by Firmino. Firmino can't get forward, though. Shapiro Thompson on the dribble. Firmino tracks back, knocks it out wide. Red Bulls on it in the corner. Cross into the 6, caught by Diop. Makes the catch, goes to the ground to buy his team a little more time to reset. Clement Diop might be seeing penalties here shortly. Punt to Mimi, gets his head to it. Little head tennis in the middle third. Tiente heads it forward. Opportunity for Tamimi. Top of the 18. Tamimi spins back to his left. Pass. Lopez caught by Marcucci. Second shot of the half for Atlanta. Eric Lopez. Quick one. But Marcucci was able to take a step to the left and catch. Atlanta drops to defend. Marcucci rolls it forward. Big right-footed clearing ball into the attacking half. Flicked forward by Sabufu. Shapiro Thompson down the left flank. Carmona, cross. It's there at the top of the 6 for Sullivan. Plays it over to the right. Sabufu, shot, caught, Diop. Complete and utter chaos in stoppage time. But still 1-1. Diop. Punt. Nope. Rolls it short. Still there. Pressure from Sabufu. Long ball from Diop. Up the right side. Centeno. Heads it inside. Firmino gets on it. Firmino driving forward. Out wide to the right. Chop back. Cross behind Firmino. He went for the Scorpion. Didn't come off. Sabufu heads it into the center circle. Cobb runs it down. Not much time left now. Adeniyi. That's it for regulation. 1-1 draw. That means both teams will get a point. But welcome to MLS Next Pro and the shootout. An additional point will be earned here by the winner in the league table. We're going to take a quick break just to reset on our own here. We'll be back in just a minute on the SDH Network. Fifth Third Bank Stadium, 1-1 draw between Atlanta United 2 and Red Bulls 2. Penalties upcoming to decide the bonus point in the MLS Next Pro table. Captains are at midfield with referee Greg Dopka. Who goes first and what end they'll be taken on, that's what's being decided. I think Red Bulls are going to kick first. Very quick motions there from the referee crew. Not sure what end they're going to kick them on. Atlanta United 2 fans are waiting to see because they're going to run to that end. Looks like we're going to be on the right side. And here goes the stampede of the fans. First penalty shootout in Atlanta United 2 history. A.J. Marcucci and Clemon Diop. That's your goalkeepers. Marcucci, 23 years old, Connecticut college grad, first-team player for the Red Bulls. Diop, 29, extensive MLS experience, born in Paris, France. Also first-team player for Atlanta United. Goalkeepers getting the customary talking to now. Have to keep 1 foot on the line or over it. Not 2 feet like it used to be. Atlanta will shoot first, and it's Eric Lopez stepping up to take it. Lopez scored early for Atlanta. Good night for him. He had some other opportunities in the first half. Had one very late, a quick shot saved by Marcucci. He will be the first to go to the spot. Shootout starting now. Atlanta going first. Eric Lopez. Steps forward, stutter, step, goal, 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 Eric Lopez. Comfortable, low to his left. Marcucci dove the other way. Frank Sibufu will go first for the Red Bulls. 22 years old from Uganda, 3 caps for the national team, second half sub today, developed at Wakiso Giants FC. Sibufu, 1v1 with Clemon Diop. Sibufu, short run up, takes a couple extra steps back now that the whistle's been blown. Staring Diop down. Diop bouncing left to right. Bouncing side to side. Clemon Diop dives the right way but doesn't get it. Goal Red Bulls. 1-1 in the shootout. Nick Firmino up next for Atlanta. Firmino scored from the spot last week. Made it 3-2 against New England Revolution 2. Firmino, the righty, up against A.J. Marcucci. Second half sub, Nick Firmino. Walks back to the top of the 18. Stutter, step, low delivery, save Marcucci. Looked like Firmino had that pretty well into the corner, but Marcucci had it the whole way. Big frame on A.J. Marcucci, gets the right hand down into the corner to make the save. And Red Bulls can go into the lead in the shootout if they convert here. It's 1-1. Wiki Carmona stepping up to take this. Carmona, the Venezuelan national team player, mostly with the youth national team. He spent time in the senior camp as well. He got the equalizer in the second half. Carmona, the lefty, 19 years old, staring down Diop. Diop waiting him out. Good goal from Carmona. Waited as long as he could. Diop went to his left. Carmona put it in the other side. 2-1 lead Red Bulls. Third attempt for Atlanta. It's Karim Tamimi to step up to take it. Tamimi, the record-setting goal scorer from Georgia Gwinnett College. First year as a pro. He's been a second-half sub in the first 2 games for Atlanta United 2. Goes up to it quickly. Ready to go. Here's Tamimi. Shot, goal. 2-2 in this shootout. Red Bulls can retake the lead here. No hesitation from Kareem Tamimi. Knew exactly what he wanted to do. It's Daniel Edelman who will go third for the Red Bulls. Smart from A.J. Marcucci. He grabbed the ball and made sure that Clément Diop couldn't try to get into the head of Daniel Edelman. Marcucci watched Dibu Martinez during the World Cup. Made sure that wasn't going to happen. It's Edelman to take with his right foot. Diop on his line. Edelman staring him down. Here comes Daniel Edelman. Shot, goal. Diop guessed the wrong way that time. Goes to the right, Edelman into the other corner. 3-2. Red Bulls haven't missed yet. Fouad Adeniyi will step up to take this for Atlanta. One of the most experienced players in this side for Atlanta United 2. Adeniyi, part of South Georgia Tormenta's USL League One championship team last year. The big lefty. Goal. No hesitation from Adeniyi either. Marcucci guessed the wrong way. We're back level at threes. Red Bulls can retake the lead here, make it 4-3, and be on the precipice of a win. Yostin Salinas, first half sub at center back. Salinas, the 24-year-old Costa Rican. Developed first at Limon FC before going to Saprissa for 4 years. He's on loan to Red Bulls 2 from Sporting Football Club. Yostin Salinas, 1v1 with Clément Diop. Diop guesses to the right. Salinas puts it down the middle. 4-3 Red Bulls. Fifth attempt here for Atlanta. Tony Tiente has to make it. Tiente, another member of that Georgia Gwinnett clique. Second year with the club for Tiente. Came on in the second half tonight. Determined walk forward by Tiente. Sets it on the spot. Marcucci still in the middle of the goal. Standing still. Not much movement. Here's Tiente. Goal. Marcucci guessed to his left. Tiente put it in the other side. Red Bulls have an opportunity to win now with their fifth kick. It's Eric Ruiz who will step up to take this. Ruiz, the 17-year-old from the Red Bulls Academy. An opportunity to earn a point in the standings for his team. Clément Diop has to save or Ruiz has to miss. Otherwise, Red Bulls win the point. Ruiz stepping to it. Shot. Goal. 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 New York Red Bulls 2. And they win the shootout 5-4. Composure from Ruiz, the 17-year-old. Marcucci made the vital save on Firmino. And New York Red Bulls 2 come from behind to get the draw and win the shootout to get the additional point. Whew. Red Bulls 2 with a really strong second half, dominant second half. Atlanta United 2 just couldn't get the momentum back after a great first half of action. Really one of those games that's the story of two halves, but Red Bulls 2 had the better of them, carried that momentum forward into the shootout, and they get the extra point. Goals from Eric Lopez and Wiki Carmona. That's the 1-1 in regulation. Shootout 5-4, and it's Eric Ruiz with the decider. take a short break here, and then Jon Nelson will have the post-game show for you coming up. I think Jarrett Smith might actually crash the party. You've been listening to Atlanta United 2 Soccer on the SDH Network. 1-1 in regulation, 5-4 shootout win for Red Bulls 2.
Time for the post-game show here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Once again, 1-1 after 90 minutes, and then it ends up 5-4 in penalties. Jared Smith now joining for the post-game show, and Jared, it was definitely a game of two halves.
It was.
I mean, you look at the numbers from the second half. Shots, 15-3 Red Bulls 2. Shots on target, 7-1. Shots inside the box, 7-2. 19-5 touches inside the opposition box. Final third entries, kind of close, 60-40 when it came to the 62 opportunities there. Possession in the second half once again went to Atlanta United 2. Not really a surprise at 54-46 or 53-47. Passes, more Atlanta United 2. Accurate passes, obviously the same. Passing accuracy, legitimately about the same, within a percentage point of each other. Then you look at, a couple of the other numbers. Duels, basically the same. Tackles went to Atlanta United 2. Interceptions to the 2s. Fouls, you had your metric ton of yellow cards by Red Bull 2 in the second half. Obviously, 4 yellow cards in the second half to Red Bull 2. But obviously, looking at, you compare those numbers. 15-3 shots, Red Bulls 2. First half, it was 6-5 Atlanta United 2. Chances were there in the first 90 minutes. Had a couple of chances for Eric Lopez to notch more than just the one goal that he did. But by the end of it all, 1-1 after 90 minutes. You go to penalties and MLS Next Pro. Another point on the board, as you mentioned on social media. It's like the National Hockey League, where you get the extra point if you win the shootout, you win the extra frame, and so Red Bull 2 come to Atlanta on the back end of first team and second team and leave with 2 points.
They do, and it's like you said, it's a game of two halves. And I think for me, we were talking on the other side of the glass. What stuck out was the change after a Johnny Fortune leaves the game.
Yeah,
a Johnny Fortune leaves, and look, this is. I know everyone wants to win. You're also developing players, and you're developing guys in different positions for different situations. And Johnny Fortune gives you 45 minutes. Actually, more than 40. I think he gives you 55 or 60. Atlanta didn't look the same when a Johnny Fortune was off the field. He was an absolute metronome in the middle of that field and was vital in breaking the press and helping find those spaces. I mean, look, Eric Lopez gets a goal early. He could have had 3 in this game.
Yes, he could have.
He could have had 3 in this game, and I would not have. I would not have flinched at all.
No.
It's disappointing to walk away with only a point out of this. It's a fun format, this NHL style format where we're going to go to penalties every time.
Yeah,
it's kind of a fun look and a fun vibe to everything. But it's disappointing when you had it there. You get the kind of pinball effect where Red Bull is able to get one far on the box, and it's a really good finish. The goal that Red Bull scores,
no question.
It's a damn good
Carmona,
finish,
right?
From Carmona. But it's one where you hate that you you let the game get away from you the way you did, and you weren't able to still break through as efficiently. And even then, you had chances. One guy who I think it's going to really stick in his crawl is Nicholas Firmino.
No doubt.
Because right before really the field starts tilting hard to Red Bulls, you get the free header in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if the keeper kind of flashing in front of him threw him off a bit.
Yeah.
Firmino's got a free header at goal, and he absolutely has to put it on frame, and he does not.
Yeah.
He comes up and he takes his penalty, and he looked nervous, tried to place it in the bottom corner, and I thought he placed it well.
Yeah.
I thought he put it far in the corner, but I think he may have just telegraphed it.
Yeah, and Marcucci.
Yeah, Marcucci just seemed like it was almost as if Firmino pointed and told him where he was going.
Yeah. And that was the only difference in the shootout where Marcucci and like I said, I'm checking heights here. That's what I'm doing. It's like I'm checking heights and distances and things, and so I'm trying to see. And so of course,
is he a human stilt?
Yes. So you're looking for, and so of course you sit there and you look at the roster and there's nothing there. So, but I think to your point. But when you get into penalties, it's all about body language and how you present yourself as you're walking up to the ball. And also you're looking at, if you're a keeper and you're looking at plant foot placement and things like that you're trying to analyze on the hop. And, Marcucci looked like he had Firmino figured out, and that was the difference.
And I tell you what, man, I don't know how well people could see it if you were watching the stream while syncing us up. If so, thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thank you, yes.
But if you were watching the game, if you've seen this field, you can see very clearly right near that penalty spot where the lacrosse hatch goes.
Yeah, that is the keeper. That's the keeper crease. Mm-hmm. That is the no-fly zone when it comes to lacrosse. For those unfamiliar with the rules, that's where the keeper stands, and you're not allowed in that circle.
They'll hit you.
And so, with the largest lacrosse
stick and the most padding.
Yes, and so you're not allowed in that circle if you're playing lacrosse, and you can tell. And there were times, especially in the first half, where there's a pass back to Clement Diop, and you see it roll through that patch of well-worn dirt where the keepers stand here at Kennesaw State for lacrosse, and you could see a couple of wonky hops happen that you have to pay attention to. So you're looking down, you're seeing that the keeper crease and the worn turf there when it comes to lacrosse as you're going up for your penalty spot too. That may play in the back of your mind.
They're already moving the goals for the next games coming up.
It's like, yep, get out of here.
Okay, we're done with soccer. Everybody
get out of here.
Everything.
But no, I mean, this is just all these little things that you're looking at when it comes to trying to figure out the steps that you might need to get one step ahead of the next guy. And so all those things coming into play. Nicholas Firmino, the only miss, but technically it was the only save. The only save. It wasn't a miss. Yeah, the only save in the run. Marcucci on Firmino, 5-4, and that's the difference. Man of the match brought to us by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente, thrive. Tyler Young.
Good performance. I know in-house it was Eric Lopez. Eric Lopez gets the goal. There's this feeling of there were two more in there. You had two more.
Oh,
Eric.
yes.
But yeah, Tyler
and I'm
Young,
sure that you ask Eric Lopez, and he will tell you the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. He's a professional. And Eric's been in a weird spot for the last year plus now because he went away on loan, didn't play a ton, and then comes back here, and he's trying to prove he needs to be in that first team picture because Jackson Conway's in Phoenix now.
That is correct.
Miguel Berry doesn't have the second spot locked down. Machop Chol has, and I know he didn't play striker last night. Machop Chol showed you something last night coming off the bench and did exactly what he had to do. But you know that there might be those minutes available on that first team, and he's trying to show something.
Well, when you're also discussing multiple competitions.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a perpetual audition.
And you mentioned Tyler Young, and talk about a guy who came, through the draft, is having to make that move that we've seen a lot of guys make to that outside back position, and really seems to be taking steps every game. Really impressed with what he's been able to do when he's been able to get on the field, get his foot on the ball, and maybe it's a matter of keeping up with the pace of it, because these games, again, Red Bull's games operate in a different world because they are a different kind of game. I was talking about this with people today, is that, when you're analyzing like last night's game at Mercedes-Benz, you almost need to have a different lens to look at that game through.
You have to look at this through a lens of suffering.
Yes. Do you have a specific set of glasses that have Red Bulls written across them?
This is
you have to wear.
This is The Cure, Depeche Mode. This is that soundtrack that you're having to sit there and work your way through.
Yeah, this is the last 15-minute songs on the AFI Sing the Sorrow. I mean, it's a grind. But I thought there were moments in the second half where they tried to let the ball run a bit, and you can't.
No.
They took a little half second too long on the ball. You can't. And it's just it's part of playing against Red Bulls, and it's just you got to look at it through a different lens. It's not going to define who you are. It's not going to define your season. But Tyler Young was good though, and ultimately, I guess I think for me a lot of it changes when Johnny Fortune isn't in the midfield doing just absolute yeoman's work. I know he started the game. He came off. Johnny Vial would have been an interesting piece to have on at the end of the game. So if you would have flipped that, maybe you don't start Vial, because you get late in that game and you're dancing in the attack. He's such a dangerous guy in those moments.
And to your point, you got that with Firmino and Centeno when they came in.
Yeah, and Centeno, Centeno probably gets a $2 bonus every time he hits a step over because he hits them a lot. He hits them designated player worthy number of step overs. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one to take because of the way it unfolded now.
Well, and to your point in this, like I said, what you have when you're playing Red Bulls, either first team or second, and it just so happened that the way that MLS Next Pro is, it's a back-to-backer, and I actually like that.
I love it so much.
I like that idea of having, it helps you out financially when it comes to travel and all these kinds of things.
Yeah, roster-wise, too. Imagine if someone gets banged up.
You had Drew Yearwood here, and you had, who was the other player for Red Bulls tonight that was Edelman. You had Edelman and you had Drew Yearwood here, who were downtown yesterday, and they're up here today to help you out. And same with Atlanta United with the guys that were attached to first team, chances and opportunity here. But
we see it all. We've seen it now repeatedly with we saw it last week with it was tougher last week because he had to travel back. We saw Fortune play against Columbus, come back here and start and play 45 minutes for the twos the next night.
Yeah.
He only played 10 minutes against Columbus, but still.
Right.
That's getting loose, getting warmed up, playing high energy for a little bit, then
hopping on a plane late at night, coming home, trying to sleep in your own bed, trying to wake up the next day. Oh, by the way, you've got to play. You've got to be available for the second team.
But I agree with you. I love when they do this because I think you're right. It's a huge financial benefit, if nothing else, but also it's a roster benefit. If somebody picks up a knock,
yes,
in a light training session, or if somebody picks up, let's say somebody picks up a food illness or something the night before a game.
Don't encourage.
You've got the opportunity to bring somebody up to go, and if a game plays out in a weird way for a first team game, you can say, okay, well, this game played out in a way that we didn't expect. We needed these guys. I got a couple guys who I wanted to play them, but it didn't play out the way I needed to. I get sent to play for the twos the next night. I hope we get more like this.
Updating scores from MLS Next Pro here. The match that ended during halftime with a man down, St. Louis City 2 loses to Minnesota United FC 2 by the score. How cities in caps, you always feel like you have to emphasize.
I know.
So Minnesota United FC 2-3, St. Louis City 2-1. That's going to catch us all year long, giving all these scores with all these twos.
I'm begging. I'm going to start begging. Can we get different names?
Colorado
Get
Rapids.
Weird names. I don't care.
Yeah, it was scoreless.
Do the Orlando Sea Cows. Make it a real thing.
There you go.
Although Orlando City B is their thing.
I just call them OCB.
OCB. Yeah, look. I mean, that's on their logo. The OCB's there. I love it.
Yeah.
Just do that. Just get weird with it. Like, I mean, make the Sea Cows a permanent fixture for all I care. I think the Sea Cow thing they did for April Fool's Day was outstanding.
Tremendous. Colorado Rapids 2 over Houston Dynamo 2 at Aviva Stadium tonight by the final of 2-1. In that match, like I said, we'll go through the scores and the games in progress and what you can catch up with at the top of the hour. There are 2 other matches that will be going on out west. All the action happening late. Talon Maples with a goal for Houston Dynamo 2 in the 68th. Game had been scoreless up until that point. Talon Maples scores to give Houston Dynamo 2 a 1-0 lead at Aviva. Then you have Yosuke Hanya scoring in the 87th to draw it even at 1, and then and Kaike scoring at 90+2 to give Colorado Rapids 2 the win. So Rapids 2 over Houston Dynamo 2 by the score of 2-1. Games going on right now at Dignity Health Sports Park, Carson, California. Los Dos down a goal in the 55th to North Texas SC. That one you can catch on MLSNextPro.com after the postgame show is completed here with the 3 of us.
Yeah, see, that's another one. Los Dos is an easy one. We've called Red Bulls 2 Baby Bulls for so long at this point, it just flows. Like we're gonna have to like find a more appropriate way to address all these teams because the 2s are going to throw my brain completely into flux.
No question. North Texas a goal by Essang and an own goal in the 44th gives the difference right now to North Texas SC. In the 61st at Gillette, Revolution 2 and NYCFC 2, the next opponent for Atlanta United 2 next weekend, by the way, up in New York. Jordan Adebayo-Smith scoring for New England Revolution 2. Tell me if you've heard that one before. Scores in the 24th to make it 1-0 for the home side. Then John Denis scores for NYCFC 2 in the 43rd. That was the score at the break. That is the score now with about 30 minutes to go at Gillette. And then one other game on the board, Timbers 2 and Earthquakes 2. And Quakes 2, you call them the Aftershock maybe? Call them the Tremors. So Earthquakes 2 leading T2 by the score of 2-0. Yes, the original. The more of those they did, the further away they got from the actual premise.
Yeah, it's like a gravity wave. The further away we get, the less substantial it gets.
Eduardo Blanca scoring in the 10th for the Tremors to give them a 1-0 lead. Then Keegan Tingy scores 20 minutes later. So 2 goals on the board. That's how it was at the half. Blanca scoring on a PK. That game you can also catch at Providence Park on MLSNextPro.com. So Tremors leading T2 by the score of 2-0. That one also has 30 minutes to go. We mentioned the 2 matches going on at the top of the hour. It is at Titan Stadium on the beautiful campus of Cal State Fullerton. LAFC 2 hosting Whitecaps 2. That's at 10 o'clock. You can catch that on the website, MLSNextPro.com. And then Tacoma Defiance on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV hosting Real Monarchs. That one is at Starfire. And that one is at 10 o'clock. So you have 2 matches after our post-game show where you can catch up with the other activity going on in MLS Next Pro on the night. We talk about Tyler Young, and it's the evolution of those individuals that are put at the back, regardless of what they were when it came to...
Should we call the Timbers 2 the Saplings?
I think so.
I'm sorry.
So Tremors and Saplings.
My brain's completely broken on this now, and it's all I care about.
But there's nothing wrong with that. So Tremors and Saplings, and right now it's 2-0 to the Tremors at the Saplings camp.
So the forestry.
The forestry.
The Pikes
Nursery. At the nursery.
Yeah, the nursery.
So that's what you call Providence Park for the 2s. You call it the nursery.
Call it the nursery.
So yeah.
So they're growing trees, baby.
Yeah.
Just so they be cut down by Timber Joey.
Exactly.
Well, already cut down.
Yes.
He just keeps going.
He just cuts it into pieces.
Yeah, he just makes it worse. I'm sorry about Tyler Young.
No, but just the evolution of that position where you have folks who, Tyler Young, tremendous player and goal scorer at Campbell, and he's been put at the back and as a part of the back line. We've seen the Aiden McFadden was the predecessor where it's like, okay, we're going to need you at the back, and you're seeing the evolution of Tyler Young. Like I said, he was our man of the match tonight. He continues to show the faith that has been shown in him by Steve Cook and the coaching staff and by Atlanta United in general. It's like, we believe you're a talented guy. We need you here. And you're seeing that from Tyler Young at the back, where he was used to being, integral to scoring in Campbell when he was, playing in college up until this past year's draft.
Well, the thing is, we've seen this with a lot of guys, and not just in Atlanta, but around the league, is when you get out of college, those guys who are attacking players a lot of times end up dropping further back because that's just how their skill set works. Like, it generally takes a really special situation for you to stick in, up high, playing that left wing, that right wing, left attack, right attack, however you want to lay it out. But if you can be that guy who can transition into defending, who can get forward and be dangerous, like we saw a John Gallagher do when he was here, like we have seen Aiden McFadden do. Aiden McFadden led this team in goals in 2021. We've seen those guys make that transition, and if your heart's in it and you're dedicated to it, make a good little living for yourself doing it. And we talked about this before, that I wonder if Aiden McFadden, Aiden McFadden's playing for opportunities with this first team, but also, look, let's be honest, man, he's auditioning for everybody.
No doubt.
Because eventually that contract's going to come up, and, I don't think Atlanta would hate to keep him around by any means, but if somebody else looks at him the way, say in Austin looked at John Gallagher and said, hey, we like that piece, we might value it a bit more, we'll give you a bunch of monopoly money for it.
Yes.
Then, it's something you potentially do.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody comes at you with
even
either
$300,000,
a lot of Garber bucks or whatever,
even $250,000, you're interested in doing it, and Tyler Young appears to be the next one in that step. And I think Cook has talked about it, that honestly, that for Young, it's been a process. There's going to be early struggles, and that's expected.
Yeah,
because no one just kind of it doesn't just stick for some people. You have to work at it.
Other guys that we've continued to see grow and evolve. I mean, the starting 11 tonight, Fuad Adani, we've seen him become that stabilizer at the back line. Luke Brennan continuing to impress. Johnny Vial, and I will say this: one of the more interesting picture frames from this match was 5'3" Johnny Vial and 6'8" Matthew Nosita, and it's like literally you're being just swallowed into this entity when you're 5'3" going up against 6'8", and I don't think that was ever anything that Johnny Vial has ever faced.
No, and it's look, my question for Johnny is always going to be his size. Is that the thing that's gonna that's gonna get people to kind of look at him out of the corner of their eye? Because it certainly won't be his skill on the ball. He's so ungodly talented on the ball. Johnny's gonna have to prove he is strong enough and tough enough, and crazy enough, honestly, to continue to take those steps. Because I think his on the ball skill, his movement, his speed, man, Johnny Vial's got it. I don't know what his ceiling is, but dude can play.
Yeah, and to be able to see that continue to grow and evolve, I think it has been really cool. And you mentioned auditions. Clement Diop is another one who is in an audition kind of form, because, and we continue to talk about it when it comes to the multiple competitions that we have here this year. It's Open Cup, it's MLS regular season, it's Leagues Cup. And if you have the depth that you're developing in net, you have what you're looking at. You're looking at, say, 50 competitions. If you get your way all the way through all of these different competitions and you're competing toward the end of them all, that's what you're staring at here. And to have a Brad Gazan, to have a Quentin Westberg, and to have a Clement Diop is going to help you across the board, where on a night like this, you can get Clement Diop some reps and have him play MLS Next Pro, making 6 saves tonight.
Some damn good saves, too.
And coming up big when you needed to. You've got a guy like Clement Diop who, once again, you mentioned the auditioning of Aiden McFadden. You got the auditioning of Clement Diop here as well. He's staying in the public consciousness when it comes to contracts and deals and interest possibly from other folks.
He was, and I thought he played well tonight. Even at the end with the penalties, Red Bulls go 5 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 real damn good penalties taken by Red Bulls. The only one I think he would. He's a goalkeeper. We would have to run this by resident goalkeeper Jessica Sharman.
Yes, we would.
But I feel like he would tell you he could have, would have, should have gotten the first one.
Yeah,
he guesses right. It just hits so nicely into that side netting.
Yep.
It's such a long way away from where he's standing. He guesses right, but it's placed pretty much perfectly. I think if it's not placed perfectly, he saves it.
The Sabufu one in round 1 is what you're talking about off the top.
Yeah, it's because Clement guesses correctly, just can't get there. But otherwise, I mean, look, Baby Bulls put in some damn good penalties.
Yeah,
especially the last one going roof of the net.
No doubt. That's confidence from Ruiz there, and Ruiz being a second half substitution to make that call as well. Numbers in the overall. We talked about how it was a match of two halves basically. Here's your numbers over 90 minutes. Possession 52-48. Shots 21-9 by Red Bull. Shots on net 7-3. Blocks 7 blocks by Red Bull on the match. 7 blocks to 1 for Atlanta United. Total passes about the same. Passing accuracy 74% to 71%. Atlanta United 2. But that's what Red Bull does systemically. They try to make you play, and this was the conversation that you and Nicolifi were having about the first team match. They want you to play in a phone booth, and it is how you respond in that phone booth. Are you reaching inside the phone for the loose change, or are you trying to find a way to bust out through a side window and try to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, they want to basically. Imagine you're at a concert, symphony concert, ASO down at Woodruff Arts Center. You're feeling fancy about yourself. You get in there. They're going to go up on stage. They're going to try and break that conductor's baton. They want to break everything up to the extreme. And they did a good job of that.
Yeah.
And it can be fouling. Like, you start to break through, they're going to foul you. And they're going to picked up a lot of yellows tonight.
Yes, they did.
They're going to.
We get the final numbers on the yellows.
They're going to pick up cards because they're going to try and break up play. When you are playing through them, and Atlanta's starting to find those rhythm, finding where Red Bulls lines up on their press, knowing, okay, we play it here, here's how they're going to collapse the press.
Right.
We play it here, here's how they're trying to funnel it and hit their trap. When you're able to find those gaps, and if you start to break through, they're going to pull you down. If that means they pick up a yellow card, fine. That means they pick up a foul, they don't care at all. They'll spread that around, make subs. That's just, they're going to try and break that up, because in the chaos, when you let it get into your head, that's when they're going to pounce on you, and they're going to rip out your throat in the most violent fashion they know how. And we saw that in a couple instances where it wasn't pretty what they did in the second half, but I mean, there's a 15, 20-minute stretch where it felt like Baby Bulls were just on the front foot and felt like it was coming.
Yep, 13 corners to 2 on the day, 22 crosses to 12.
You can give up a goal off a corner.
And they won 12 tackles to 9. Yeah. Like I said, Clement Diop had 6 saves, 25 clearances for the twos on defense, 15 fouls, 5 yellows on the day for Red Bulls, and no reds here in front of a cool crowd. And I give the crowd a lot of credit, too, especially in penalties, when they go wandering down from wherever they were seated here in Kennesaw down to the end where they were taking the penalties. That was a fun moment to see here tonight, too.
It was. It was an interesting atmosphere, because I was interested to see how everybody would react to those. I wasn't sure we were going to get to penalties. Atlanta gets the chance at the very end of the game. And, they get basically on 3-on-2 at the edge of the 18, and it was almost like everyone for Atlanta kind of hesitated and went, I got it, you take it.
Yeah.
And weren't able to put it away. Goes down at the other end. Red Bulls get a half chance.
And they do get that half chance, in the chaos that they want to create. That's what they ended up getting. So next up for both of these sides, for Atlanta United 2, it's the only road match in the month of April. They're at NYCFC 2, week from tonight, 7 o'clock kick, and you can catch that on your platforms of choice. Next up for the Baby Bulls, it is a home match at Montclair against Crown Legacy, the MLS Next Pro side for Charlotte FC.
Make it something. Crown Legacy, cool, man. That's the kind of name I want. I don't want just twos.
Yeah, well,
I know Atlanta United.
Now we have time. We have the sum total of 11 and a half hours before we go up on SDH Live on Monday and come up. That'll be the question of the day. Come up with names for the twos teams in MLS Next Pro.
We're going to come up with it, and Nick's going to be there doing it at some point in the near future, and Jason's going to find out all of this happen. He's just going to sit there with his head in his hands.
No doubt.
It's like the day when we fixed the
MLS All-Star game. Absolutely. Yeah, and so that's what we do at SDH. So thanks to everybody who is listening to us tonight. Thanks to everybody who's accessing us, however you are doing so, the SDH app on Android, the Spreaker app, where you do your search for Soccer Down Here on iPhone, and soccerdownhere.net. So for Jason, for Jarrett, I'm just John. Play safe, everybody. Your final score on the day, 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, but 5-4 in penalties as the Baby Bulls take care of Atlanta United 2, 5-4 by the time we are done. For everybody here at SDH, thanks for hanging out with us. Take us home, Jarrett.
Mucha plata, y'all.